The moment of creation is a form of magic, where an off becomes an on, a 0 becomes a 1, then another, and another, until, deep in the complexity, you discover order, speed, reliability, power. Experience the WD BLACK NVMe SSD. Fueled by darkness. Level up to NVMe SSD performance.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with ACT Fibernet and AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Babagusta, and our admin, Eisen, as we are here for the penultimate day of Division 5's final week, Division 2's final week, day 5, excuse me. Had a massive brain lag moment right there. But yes, it is Division 2, Day 5 right now. Coming live to your screens with Dauntless Esports versus Vanquish Paradox Gaming. Still a mouthful of a name. And the ban phase on Villa is already live. VPG are on defense, Dauntless are on attack. We're on the ban phase, and we're going to be expecting some standard stuff to come out right off the bat. Nothing too special, maybe, maybe not. All right, Nomad will be the first ban on the map. Not too surprising. Map control, if you want to deny the attackers that very crucial aspect of flank watch and map control, Nomad bans are usually a way to go, forcing attackers to play gridlock if they still want to be in that position. Thatcher will be the second ban on the map. Nothing too special right there. Very standard bans for Villa, as the defender bans will be first up from Dauntless Esports, and we're going to find out who they're going to ban.
Well, talking about the defense side, especially on a map like Villa, it's technically a Maestro or Valkyrie ban would be a standard ban. And talking about it, Valkyrie will be the one to be banned on the side of Dauntless Esports. Of course, with a C4 in hand and also a technical a deployable shield in which the Valkyrie has. Most of the time you do see a Valkyrie with the deployable shield being placed, but most of the time you do see C4 in hand and also the a total of 3 Valkyrie camps, which proves to be quite efficient when it comes to intel gathering. With the last defender bans, we will see the Womai. Do know why Womai is considered to be one of the most top meta players when it comes to catching projectiles of the attackers. So removing them would force Vanquish Paradox to use a certain style. Maybe we would see the ADS followed up with the deployable shield being placed, but not at a particular position in which the attackers might have a chance to get into the site as soon as possible. But knowing that the Mira is not banned just yet, we might be able to see the defenders using those operators, especially on the second floor AVG. Talking about the rosters on the side of Team Dauntless Esports, we have a Vidwi, Hussein, Sinking Donut, Boom, and yes, unfortunately, we did had an uncertain disconnect. And as we take a look at it on the side of Vanquish Paradox, we have Mellow, Nostalgia, Exter, Crowned Clown, and Ghosty, as the site will be on second floor AVG. And it's just going to be a moment where the attackers will finish loading and they'll be back into the game. Talking about it, for the attackers, they will be in a very difficult 4v5 situation, but it should not be much more of a problem for them.
Defenders, protect your
Well,
bombs
with the
from being
disconnect
used
from
by
Triple
attackers.
coming in early, Dauntless Esports, I don't know if they want to go for a rehost just yet. I think they're still talking about it, while Vanquish Paradox, they've got everybody ready, and Ghosty nearly had us going with a potential Caveira 6 pick, but he will not pick the Brazilian defender. Instead, he's bringing in the Legion, the goo mine, intel galore, just from those tiny little mines alone. And that's going to be something that Vanquish Paradox have and will continue to rely on a lot of intel via audio cues, barbed wires, and of course some visual cues straight in front of them down the barrel of their guns. At least that's what they will be looking at. Mind you, the Wamai ban was their own, and they were the ones who decided to not play as hard on the utility side of things. And that's what we're going to be seeing here today. We've got a couple of roamers already. A Triple will return, but it's far too late for him to get an operator. He will have to man the intel for the side of Dauntless Esports. They're going to have to make sure their drone economy is set up properly without any issues or too many drones getting taken out early, so that they can get intel on where these defending roamers are. And Vanquish Paradox, they are going to have to just watch out for those drones a little bit more than usual on early rounds today.
Ace's summer breach charges open up right from the second floor saturated room, will be able to give them lines of access and also an entryway towards the site. Although they haven't cleared a one, but talking about it, Exter will be the one to eliminate Hussein. The important player on the side of Team Dauntless Esports will be able to make it a 3v5 situation. Boom. Think of going for a nade. Will it connect? No, it does not. The nade was trying to make sure that the defenders who's currently holding on towards the landing zone will be cleared. At least he did force the defenders to be on a particular side. Talking about the attackers, they have already inside the astronomy as they proceed towards the statuary room. The site being on second floor AVG, getting the control on statuary room in the mere 1 minute 30 seconds. They still have more time. They still have drones. They'll be able to give good amount of information. Utilities are being thrown out on the side of Vanquish Paradox. That would be the C4, but a run out right from outside the living room. We might be able to see Ghosty taking good amount of damage, which would force him to be in a... He'll just be in a passive role just for now.
We've got flashbangs and other utilities going off all over the place as the regular smoke of the attackers will mix with the canister of smoke himself. Exter still on the roam, full HP. He's going to be a big deal for the side of the attack to contend with. And Dauntless Esports know this. There's going to be the peak from the sledge on red carpet stairs, and that will make sure, boom, that is, and that Exter goes down. He's going to find another one. Mello takes the fall. That was an unfortunate peak from the smoke. SMG-11 could not find the kill in time, as after a little bit of trouble, he will make sure that the Vulcan Shield gets taken care of. Goes to the Newell, going for a big peek, does some damage to a Vidvi, but he's dancing around a lot of danger. He will still get a kill and vault back into another. What is this man doing? The T5's firing off right now, and there's only one attacker left. Where are you looking? Sinking Donut, Ghosty will be asking that question, but of course, he won't get an answer, at least not yet, as he was the one to finish off the kill and give VPG round one. We saw that in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, ladies and gentlemen. However, a little bit of unfortunate news. Turns out Dauntless Esports seems to be facing a bit of a sound bug, and they have requested a rehost nice and quickly. So we're gonna have to go into a first round rehost right here. Little unfortunate that the action had to be delayed like this, of course, but it is what it is. We want to make sure that the players on stream have maximum comfortability, as much as you can get in online Siege anyway. And having just taken round one like that, VPG, they will be looking strong today. As looking at the leaderboards right now, at the end of day 4, VPG hasn't exactly had the best of seasons this time around, being 5th straight in the middle of the division. Well, sort of the middle. There's no real middle visual position for 8 teams, but you know, semantics aside, VPG being 5th, not the best season for them at all, but being on 6 points and the top 2 teams being on 10, there's still a chance if they win their games tonight and tomorrow, they might still be able to qualify for Division 1, and that would still be a pretty big deal for them. As going to Division 1, a position that they used to have back when they were Virtual 5 Esports, you know, formerly known as, they used to sort of flitter in between Virtual 5, Divisions 1 and 2, and then they changed to VPG. They had their roster changes and all that, and, you know, getting started off, getting back onto their feet has been a little rough for them in general. Oh, so hopefully we might see them bring back that old mojo, that old tempo, if you will, of Virtual 5, but it's going to take a while, and we understand that, of course. Dauntless Esports, in the meanwhile, absolutely up top. 10 points to them in 5 games, and they've had a pretty good season, all things considered. They are looking very strong right now, especially after season 1, where they were a little shaky in places. They still needed to improve. We were a little skeptical whether or not Division 2 would prove to be too much for them. Turns out they proved to be too much for Division 2 and are now sitting up top waiting for that promotion. They need to win their games today and tomorrow, of course, to make sure that they do get into Division 1. And once they do, that's where the real challenge is, as we'll be looking forward to their adventures up in the top division of the league. And overall, it should be a pretty interesting matchup ahead. Wouldn't you agree, Baba?
I mean, absolutely, Jack. As Foxy said, Division 2 is popularly known for being a bloodbath because most of the time you do see teams most of the teams being promoted from Div 3 to Div 2, and the players on the side, the teams on the side of Div 1 who've unfortunately gets relegated back to Div 2. So that's Division 2 is technically a gateway for the teams to either be promoted to Div 1 or get relegated to Div 3. So we did see some huge teams, especially on season 1. Unfortunately, we did see mercenaries in Division 2, but good to say that in season 2 they are back in Division 1, going up against the best of the teams um, in the South APAC region. You have Unit Gaming, Kira Esports, Monka S, right from Division 1 stages. So Division 2, we've seen countless numbers of teams having, a few amount of ups and downs. So starting about it, I would talk about Exterminate Esports, in which season 1, they were in Division 3. Now they are in Division 2. Most of the matches that we did get to see against them went almost in an overtime match point. Some rounds they did not get, some rounds, especially on the side of the attack, had a lot of problems, especially on Map Cafe Dostoevsky, I believe, if I try to remember it right. And some of them on defense, Exterminate Esports don't have any problem with it. So talking about Exterminate Esports, we do have them going up against Lies Valiance. We don't have the map information just yet, but we'll actually get to know it when this match comes to an end. But for now, talking about the match in hand, Dauntless Esports, my god, Hussein, to be honest, I don't know what to say. I mean, previous amount of matches that we did get to see going up against any opposition, you see him making those extreme good amount of plays. Today against Vanquish Paradox, looks like some things led to other, especially Ghosty playing as the Legion, a good demonstration of how athleticism works in a game of Rainbow Six Siege, using the vault at the windows, eliminating not just one but a total of three players, one from the window and then the other two right from the landing zone, to get those good amount of kills, giving them the first round win on the second floor ABG. Since Vanquish Paradox are on defense, second floor ABG will be locked. They have either two options to either pick on second floor trophy room or first floor dining. So I just want to ask you a question, Jack. Which side does VPG will pick on, considering the ban phase that I did get to see? Valkyrie and Vamai being banned on the side of defense. We won't be able to see that highly meta plays that you do get to see from second floor trophy room. Uh, what do you think? Which side will Vanquish Paradox pick on round 2?
Well, given everything we've seen from VPG and from that first round from Dauntless Esports, I don't think VPG will immediately try to switch things around and go for anything unorthodox. They're going to try and stick to their guns, and I'd say they're going for second floor trophy over everything else, because while first floor dining is a fantastic site in and of its own right, you want to go up second floor trophy. It is the most played site, effectively speaking, on Villa. It's the site we see the most, for the most part. And overall, VPG, like I said, they're not going to be doing anything very different. They won't be doing anything too out of the box. They'll be just sort of containing themselves for the time being, waiting and watching for Dauntless Esports to start bringing out something special. However, we're going to find out whether or not they do. In fact, ladies and gentlemen, as we're just going to go live in a quick second with the game, as both teams are back in, we are just making sure that everything's ready, and in fact it is, and we are live once again with the score being 0-1, going to second floor trophy and a statutory from the side of VPG. We've got all 5 members of Dauntless Esports in as well. They are ready, and the match really begins now.
Well, absolutely, Jack. We do see Mira being played, and just as I was talking about Mira, she'll unfortunately be six pick off to the Kali. Caster's curse is in effect, ladies and gentlemen, and it's just the beginning. Talking about the other six pick, we do see Triple switching from the Montine to the Gridlock, knowing that the Nomad has been banned from, I believe, on the side of Vanquish Paradox. Vanquish Paradox was the one who banned Nomad, which would force Gridlock to be in play. Most of the track singers you do get to see might be placed near the main stairs, red stairs, but if you do try to give them a much more advantage, especially when it comes to giving information, you might be able to place those gridlocks tracking is right from the 90s hallway, knowing that the site will be on second floor trophy. Their main objective is to make sure to open up the second floor trophy wall as soon as possible, so that they'll be able to at least get to the site as best as soon as possible. Looks like we're just having, yep, there you go, the loading screen has finally come to an end as we are going to proceed to the map. And talking
Defenders,
about
protect your bombs
the
from
next
being
season,
defused by
season 3
attackers.
registrations are live, ladies and gentlemen. If you do want to head on in, make sure to register right from the Esports Club. Link is in the description. Solos or squads, you can be able to register it to make sure that we'll be able to see you guys in the action, especially on the qualifier phase as well as on Div 3. But for now, heading towards the match, it is VPG on defense. Second floor trophy will be the side. We do see a huge emphasis towards Goyo and a good amount of reinforcements
Attackers
being
have
placed
discovered the
on the
location of a
first floor
bomb.
dining.
Absolutely. The first floor
10 seconds
strategy
left
from a
before insertion.
VPG, they know that verticality is one of the essentials
seconds
when
left
it comes
before
to
insertion.
defending trophy room, especially in a late round
Attackers
situation.
are
If
heading
you've
out
got
to
your
defuse the
C4
bomb.
operators below, then you might just have a big play on your hands. They know this, they've done it before themselves, and they'll be implementing that strategy one more time to see if Dauntless Esports are able to read into this and get their roam clear done quickly enough for them to push into sight. Ghosty on the red carpet stairs right now. He's just watching for a push in from a piano and art studio, of course. Mello, he looks like he's going to be staying downstairs alongside Ghosty. That's two C4s, mind you. The Kaid is back in sight in the meanwhile, saving that third C4 for any other use that they might need it for. And that's Crown Clown, who's going to be joining us today, of course, alongside the rest of VPG. As we've got a lot of bullets being used to open up barricades. For now, nothing, no bodies being traded, no damage being done. It is a very early game, of course, and knowing Dauntless Esports, they're not going to go for anything too brash, too risky off the bat. As we're seeing Crown Clown open up a little bit of an angle above the reinforcement, but the push into sights coming in slowly but surely. Hussein and Avid be very close to sight. They've got support. Barbed wires are broken, and this could be a big push if VPG doesn't read into it.
Second floor trophy push. We do see the attackers getting that first frag. It's going to be boom, eliminating Crown Clown right from the second floor statuary room. All they need is to throw those smoke grenades so that they'll be able to
Attackers' bomb
proceed and
diffuser
go
has
for the
been
plant. A
planted.
huge amount of utilities being thrown out to take out the
Attackers have
Goyo's
recovered their diffuser.
deployable shield, in which they will succeed, but yet a total of two C4s has been used on the side of Vanquish Paradox. But sad to say, they did not get any casualties. They'll be able to find from gunfire, Exter and Ghost eliminating Hussein and Triple. The important players on the side front of Esports goes down. Good amount of pre-fires being displayed here from Exter as he gets a double kill, and Nostalgia does the same. And in the end, the Vector SMG will be there right from the red stairs to eliminate Sinking Donors. Vanquish Paradox will be the one to win round 2 second floor trophy. As we look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, we now proceed to round 3, where Team Vanquish Paradox are in the lead 2-0, and the site will be on first floor dining. It's been a while since Vanquish Paradox had a lot of problems dealing for the past 2 to 3 matches, I believe, in the Division 2. But right now against Dauntless Esports, looks like they're getting strong. And thinking about looking at the operator picks, they do want to have mix a bit of operators. If we do see Mello picking up the frost, I just cannot believe that most of the time I talk about the
Mm-hmm.
operator, it always gets six picked out.
Yep.
Looks like, yeah, I mean, talking about the
He
six pick
really
will come
did
in.
you like that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens all the time, but it happens. It's all right. But we do see Mello with the sixth pick as he stretches from the frost to the pulse. The cardiac sensor will be able to provide useful information, especially with him holding towards the first floor kitchen. He'll be able to give information of second floor master bedroom, the a small room which connects right from the bathroom. Will be able to give much more information. I believe they have a total of three C4s. Nostalgia having one, and Crown Clown with the mute will be able to have another C4s, having a total of three. They just need to time it well and make sure that they do not waste those C4s, and hopefully make sure that be able to claim at least one or two life in the early or mid round.
Well, maybe taking out the Roamers first would be a good idea as well. Dauntless Esports in that previous round, they really wanted to get into sight quickly and didn't do much to take out the two operators down below. That was, of course, the Mute and the Goyo. And we all saw what the Goyo did to the attackers alongside Exter playing the Jaeger the last round and this round as well. And that's something that VPG have managed to do. Dauntless Esports really didn't do too well in that previous round's clearance and entry. That execute was a little bit too sudden. They really didn't seem prepared for it, just overall. And that could be down to them testing the waters with all 5 players now in the lobby, of course, to see what they need as Mello. Oh boy, one could say that was ill-advised, but Hussein, he's not going to find one, but he will find the other. Crown Clown caught off making the rotate between sites as Hussein was trying to pre-fire to make sure the pulse didn't get too close. Vidvi takes a lot of damage, mind you, as that's a C4 from Mello taking him down. The ace will fall, and that's a kill that he will secure. That is, of course, the pulse with the UMP drones come out. Mello sees it. He's going to take it out. There we go. His position's been given away, but he still wants to find the Zofia, playing very close, and he's got Ghosty up above, but it doesn't matter. Hussein will drop. That's Diffuser dropped as well, as the early peaks and plays are coming out from DE. One more on Pantry says that's a gridlock. Does a bit of damage to Triple, but he can't get the kill just yet. He's gonna go wide and get taken out, punished finally, as it's a 3v3 going to the minute 25 mark.
3v3 situation. Vanquish Paradox needs to pick up their pace as we see Nostalgia eliminating Boom right from the entrance of the China room. The push comes in right from the side. He'll be able to down the Gridhawk. Can he down the Ash is the biggest question. He has the C4 in hand. He's going to go and help his teammate, but for now he needs to be careful. Flashbangs being thrown to avoid the gunfire, but doesn't see the ghosty push, but he's going to lose to a gunfight against the Ash, and Ash will get instantly reflagged from none other than Nostalgia. Vanquish Paradox will be strong yet again, winning round 3 first floor dining room as we take a look at it in the ACT Fibernet replay. Round 4 will commence. Vanquish Paradox on a strong 3-point lead against Dauntless Esports as we proceed to round 4. Second floor ABG will be the site. Looks like Dauntless Esports is definitely not their day today.
Oh, absolutely not. They are not having a good time at all, per se. And it's not exactly helped when you have a Pulse playing hyper-aggressive on the pantry door and stairs area. Triple managed to take him out, but not before Hussein and Vidwi went down. 2 big drops indeed. And then you had the Kaid doing the rest of the work inside of a site. And it just wasn't to be for Dauntless Esports. They did it again, where they just tried to push in. They tried to just brute force their way into sight without playing the utilities that they needed to, without clearing out anything for the most part. And the only times that any of the VPG operatives went down was when they had their own unfortunate mishaps in terms of a gunfight. More specifically, of course, Ghosty. I mean, how do you miss that many shots? One has to ask. But, of course, that's a question we'll never get the answer to, so I would better stop speculating about it. Right now, we're going to be headed to second for AVG on round 4. Dauntless Esports not looking too good in the early game. Not at all. 3 rounds to VPG, who looked pretty strong, all things considered. And DE, well, they're going to have to work on their attack, because going into defense, while it may be advantageous on Villa, you don't want to do that with a massive disadvantage on your hands.
I do have to agree on that, Jack. Having a massive disadvantage right from the execution phase. Most of the time, you do see in the early rounds where Dauntless Esports did get at least 1 or 2 early kills, but in the execution phase, that's where Ghosty and Nostalgia tries to make sure that the attackers won't have access towards the site. Melo will be able to make some late round adjustments, poking holes right from the soft walls to give them good amount of lines of sight, as well as an opportunity to use the C4 to its highest potential, so that they'll be able to eliminate them as soon as possible. We do see the Ace Selma breach charges making a line of sight and also an entryway right from the second floor sanctuary room. The only problem is they don't have information in which they will do it right now. Sinking Donut making a huge risk, and that risk might not work out well for him. Crown with the first frag, eliminating Sinking Donut as he will rotate back towards the landing room. But that landing room is already being watched right from the 90s as Triple takes one extra and Ghosty does the same yet again, eliminating a bit, and boom, we do see a melee hole being prepped right from the astronomy room, knowing that there is the Jaeger playing also very close. They don't have the information just yet, but Hussein actually doesn't need that information. He will be able to eliminate extra right off the bat. Sees the head of the Legion, doesn't get the confirmation just yet, will be able to take out the ADS. Who's going to win that gunfight? Well, it is going to be Hussein yet again, eliminating Legion right from the 90s. Will be able to give them the clearance towards the second floor statuary and trophy room.
Well, those were a very good couple of kills dropped from Hussein right there. He needed those, and Dauntless Esports needed those. And VPG, a little bit of getting ahead of ourselves here, shall we say? Nostalgia holding on 90, at least Classical Hallway, the other end of 90, to where Hussein is. Vulcan Shield has been popped. He's going to go for the peak. He's not going to find anyone. Mind you, Hussein's just making sure that anyone doesn't get the bright idea to push up through 90 because of that Claymore. Triple burns out the ADS with the smoke and throws down his attract stingers. But Mello, he gets the smoke off and gets away before the Vulcan pops. In front of him, Triple, low on HP. He's got a Goyo to deal with inside a study right now. While Nostalgia, he saw the head of the Zofia. Will he find her? Some shots, and there we go. Damage done, damage taken, kill confirmed. It's down to Triple, 1v2, the Gridlock with the F90 in hand. In landing, can he do this, or will VPG take yet another round? Shotgun comes out from Mello. He knows that he's playing close quarters right now. Goes for a bit of a preemptive fire. Isn't going to connect just yet. Nostalgia, Mello, both of them watching the same angle. They know there's only so much that the Gridlock can do as the prone peek will come out. Nostalgia does not peek just yet. C4 comes out, but it doesn't matter because Mello has the shotgun in hand. The triple will go down, and that will be VPG taking round 4 a little bit more messier than they did in the last couple of rounds, ladies and gentlemen. As we'll see in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, VPG making some ill-advised peaks, getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves, giving some kills away to Dauntless, as that could result in a round or two taken by DE, who, given the slightest bit of momentum, could suddenly turn things around and take the game away from them. We'll find out whether or not that happens, as Trophy will be the side of choice once again going into round 5.
Well, for the attackers, they have 2 more rounds to at least get some round out, so that in the second half, well, they will be the one on defense. They'll be able to at least equalize the round count against them. We do see a 6 prick from Ghost. Yes, he switches from the Pulse to the Goyo. I believe it was... I guess it was some of the operator who had the TCSG in hand. I believe that was Nostalgia who was using the TCSG shotgun. But yeah, talking about Dauntless Esports' plan of attack, most of the time when you do see a push on the second floor ABG, you do see them getting the control of the statuary and trophy room. But not sure what happened to Sinking Donut there. Instead of waiting for the information to come in, he decides to keep the pressure, starts to be aggressive to try to at least eliminate Melusi. Although he did have the peak, he did have the advantage, he didn't win that gunfight against the Melusi, which would force her to be in a different position towards the landing. But there was one attacker in the 90s hallway to get that refrag. But talking about the drone ones which come in on the side of Dauntless Esports, they need to be careful here, because since there is a mute being played, especially Mellow with those mute jammers blocking not only just the information but also the hard breaches capabilities, eliminating them would give them some access space. So maybe picking up an IQ would be a good idea to at least take out those important information right from below itself. But for now, we do see Sinking Donut and the Jackal not wasting any time pushing towards the particular site, the second floor aviator and games room, and they would immediately clear it. Their main focus is to get towards the trophy room as soon as possible, and looks like it's going to be the same push as we did see in round 2 second floor trophy.
Well, that's not exactly a very advisable push, but Triple is going to make sure to find one extra goes down. That's a big drop, mind you. Extra was one of the big reasons Dauntless Esports lost that last round, the one Baba was talking about, but we've still got the C4 operators down below. They have to worry about this. They have to try and get them out, and Triple is watching the flank for the time being. He might even go downstairs to get that kill, get 2 even. But Ghosty, he might have something to say about that. Side push is slowly coming in as the flashbangs are being thrown in as well. VPG aren't exactly looking too good right now. Sinking Donut's gonna find one. Crown Clown goes down. And that's the Ash making a quick work of another Ghosty. So much damage done, but he will take one. A C4 pops off as the Sophia gets the refrag onto Ghosty. Mellow found Boom in the meanwhile. It is a 2v3. Mellow and Nostalgia, both of them are coming in. They know that the plant will go off any second now. Sees the heads, isn't able to connect, but the Maestro comes in with one. Will he get 2? Nostalgia gets down in the meanwhile. The shotgun pushes in. He finds one. No, he doesn't. Finally does. It's such a mess, and he will go down. Thinking Donut will manage to take the kill at the last second, as that was a messy situation. Did not need to push up after taking that kill. He could have fallen back, reloaded the SMG, and played side. We'll see that in the ACT Fibernet replay, as finally Dauntless Esports will take one round, and that was a pretty all-right round from them in the early to mid, but then closing in on site, it was so all over the place. Not that VPG did any better, but they've still taken a round. That's what they need to take away from that, the positives of that round, as we will head into round 6, the last round, before roll swap.
Well, that push from Melo was quite ill-advised. You do know that there is the Maestro holding the angle right from the entrance of landing room, eliminating not just 1 and 2, especially from Sinking Donut. Getting those important kills was the main reason why they won that attack in the first place. Being very aggressive, I mean, to be honest, he actually did felt the shotgun downing the Zofia, but could not get the final shot against the Ash, in which he knew that going up in a close quarter combat against the shotgun would not be a good idea, so he decided to maintain distance and decides to rotate. He decided to just fall back towards the 90 hallway, in which he win that gunfight. Good use of repositioning, and also good work from Dauntless Esports winning their attack. Although it was a lot of chaos which was happening right then and there, we did see Dauntless Esports getting a very aggressive control right from the second floor AVG. They decided to mainly focus on getting to the side as best as possible, but this time we did see the Jackal going holding the flank routes, and when he did find one of the operators' location, in which one of them is in Memorial Room, he was forced to eliminate him, because that C4, if the attackers decide to plant in on the default side of second floor Sanctuary Room, they would eliminate him as soon as possible. But for now, it's going to be the Legion who's going to go down from none other than Hussein in the art studio, eliminating Ghost right from the main players, will be able to give them the access way, and also some clearance saying that there is one less roamer remaining on the side of Vanquish Paradox. But looking at the operator picks on the side of VPG, we won't be able to see any roamers being present, but that peek yet again from the Kaid was not a good idea, as Sinking Donut claims the life, making it a 5v3 situation.
Not like this, as we would like to say. Crown Clown, he did not need to peek like that on the media window. He knew, should have known at least, that there would be more than one on the balcony, given that there's a black mirror in AVG, but he still decided to go for it, and he got punished for it. Ghosty as well. Early peeks, completely ill-advised, as VPG are definitely getting a little bit too far ahead of themselves right now. They're going to need to curb their enthusiasm. If not, they will go down. And they'll may even start staring down the barrel right now. The grenade goes down. Well, that was a little bit of an unfortunate grenade throw from Boom, as it went straight through side directly towards Sinking Donut, who is now watching that statue corner. side. Nostalgia's gonna go for a big one, but he's gonna get spotted out. The free fires come in. He will not find one at all as the Ash will push in. It's free real estate. As Sinking Donut gets one, Boom gets another. It's all down to Exter, the lone Jaeger, inside a trophy. He goes down. Triple will make sure of that. And that is Dauntless Esports taking round 6. Well. Definitely getting way too far ahead of themselves, as we'll see in the ACT Fibernet instant replay. VPG playing very fast and very loose, and Dauntless Esports seems to have read into that going in to round 7 roll swap. 2 rounds taken, that will put a big dent, if not put a full stop to VPG's momentum as they go into the defense. That's a lot to think about for the attacking team now, as Aviator and Games Room will be the side of choice going into round 7.
Well, roll swap is in. Second half is here. The site will be on second floor AVG. We do see a 6 pick from Hussein as he switches from the Maestro to a very similar roamer operator, but never mind. He's just going to go with the 100 IQ 6 pick as the Maestro will be 6 picked to the Maestro. I'm dazed and confused. I mean, that's... now, jokes aside, maybe he just picked it by an accident. Who knows? But
You know what's better than a Maestro?
what?
A Maestro.
What is that melody? Says the Maestro. Using it. I mean, talking about it.
I like that
mean,
one. I like that
yeah,
one.
to be honest, Maestro, I mean, the technically term of Maestro is him being an expert in using the piano. So maybe in his early days when he was, I don't know about the lore wise of the siege. I may think that Maestro used to be a pianist.
5 seconds left before insertion.
He used to be a maestro. I mean, he used to be a maestro in real life, and then something happened between his story, and he decides to become a military officer instead. But who knows? But we'll see. But for let's just focus on the action phase. Let's just head on to the action phase. For now, the attacker spawned in on the side of Fountain. Vanquish Paradox. So let's see what their plan of attack is. Will they get the second floor trophy? Yes, it is. They will now proceed to use Droneworks to give information, and also they do have the Iana. Quite interesting enough, we do see a huge picks in Iana. Very excited for the next competitive season when we do get to see Sam Fisher being played in this in the next patch. I was talking about it. For now, being Iana being played will be able to give them much more information, and also they don't have to worry about using their drones. For now, it's just the defenders waiting for the attackers to push in so they'll be able to lay their trap.
Well, right now, VPG, they're going for the horizontal push for the time being as Dauntless. They are more than ready for this. They've got a shotgun operator close. That is the move. But that C4 throw was ill-advised as Boom will go down. So will Sinking Donut as 2 big drops come in. Ghosty's going all in right now, finding triple as well. It's all down to Hussein on 90. Can he hold them off, or will it be all down to Avidli? The last man standing, he does so much damage to Mello and gets him off the board. Gets a second as he turns around using the pillar to his advantage. And suddenly, it's gone from a 2v5 to a 2v3. VPG chasing the Maestro down. Ill-advised there as well. So many ill-advised plays from the side of both teams, really. Somebody's going to have to make an ill-advised counter for this VOD, ladies and gentlemen, as it's slowly going to boil down to these last 5 players. That's a very interesting impact grenade right there from Hussein, as he does so much damage to Nostalgia. The ace, he was busy trying to throw out a Son of Breach, and this time he will, getting a breach done onto Vault. Meanwhile, we've got Gaslit going off on side door. Crown Clown can't push in. They've got 55 seconds. They need to get in there. The execute needs to happen, but
well, 2v3, Vanquish Paradox have the man-crown advantage. So where do we... What just happened? Did he just push right from the study room with the SMG-11? An amazing set of display skills seen on the side of Dauntless Esports. We do see Crown Clown with the Gemini replicator giving her the information that she needs, and they'll be able to give the confirmation. But Hussein is right back at it right from the games room. The smoke Ganister dealing good amount of damage to Exter as he proceed to push towards the aviator room. Crown Clown has the diffuser. He doesn't have good amount of information. The smoke still holding in study room as the attackers are pushing right from the vault. Here comes the symphony of destruction, taking down one, and here comes another from a WD SMG-11. Dauntless Esports so winning round 7 second floor AVG as we take a look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay. Actually, there isn't any ACT Fiber instant replay, sad to say, but what a good round coming in from Dauntless Esports. The force that I did not expect it to see right from a Widby, just randomly pushing in from study, like he's going to a grocery store, buying some food, and coming back to the house without even having to worry about any traffic or any some problem, some kind of problem dealing with it.
Well, well, I guess for him it was just your average Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. As right now we'll be moving into round 8. 4-3 is the scoreline. 1 round to go for Dauntless Esports to equalize and bring things around, make that early to mid game comeback and push this game farther and farther in their favor. They have surely gained a fair bit of momentum right now, and VPG, they are not looking too good. Their early game good burst that they had of very good plays, mind you, this seems to have gone away. They're making some questionable decisions at best, and some just some outright bad decisions at worst. As there's only so much I can say to not sound harsh in this sort of a situation. You don't go from playing like they did in the early rounds to like they are now. And Dauntless Esports, in the meanwhile, they have gone from okay-ish performance to a very good performance. VPG are being shown a bit of resistance, and their attack especially has crumbled in its first ever round on this match. With the activities coming in for this particular round, it might be different, it might not be. We've seen teams come close to a comeback, come close to the equalizer, and then suddenly get taken out by their enemy teams who are still in the lead. Will that happen? Will that not? We'll see, as once again, I'm expecting a horizontal push from VPG.
Well, we do see a lot of deployable shield being placed and also a good amount of drones on the side of Vanquish Paradox. One holding in from one drone in 90s and the second in technically the AVG room in where the Mira is holding down the angle to. Nostalgia with the pre-fire will be able to deal good amount of damage with the Vector SMG. Triple making some important plays, but they do not know that there is a push coming in right from the 90s. Mellow, and I believe that was one more operator on the side of VPG. I believe that was Ghosty and Mellow pushing in towards the 90s. Always Hussein, he's just patiently waiting. You do see the bug right from the piano room, dealing good amount of damage right from below. Tried to at least push out Hussein in a different position, and also a huge amount of angles being displayed on the side of the defenders. Won't be able to see one and claims the life. A very unfortunate for Hussein as Mellow gets control and also gets control on the side in which Dauntless Esports are in trouble.
Oh, indeed. They've lost a big one. Hussein has been pretty influential for them in this match so far, and that was some pretty good teamwork coordination from them, droning on second floor with Mellow for cover from the 90 hallway to make sure that the Mira had absolutely nowhere to go as they attempted a vertical play to get rid of the windows. But what is that shot from Sinking Donut? Mellow deleted off the map tonight as his early round good deeds have been met with a very good shot from Sinking Donut. Utilities are being cleared right now as the push into site will come in slowly but surely from VPG. They know what they need to do, but do they have the strength to do it? They're going to need to find it soon as the summons are going off. There's a push coming in from 90. That's a lot of angles that the attackers, defenders, have to worry about. As the C4 from below did go off, but it didn't find anybody. Dauntless Esports, unfortunately, will not be able to use any others. The Mira probably had one, but the Sane, of course, is no longer in play as they... Oh, there we go. Extra and Ghosty get two. Triple and Boom will fall, and now it's a 2v4. Make that a 1v4. It's all down to Jaeger. Sinking Donut can't find Ghosty. He will go down as VPG will take round 8, turning things around. We'll see that in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, ladies and gentlemen, as VPG taking the 8th round will put themselves back on a 2-round lead, getting back into position to a certain degree, as right now looks like Dauntless Esports still have a way to go if they want to win this match. 5-3 is the scoreline going into round 9, and we are headed straight to dining room and kitchen.
Well, things are starting to heat up for Dauntless Esports, and also even it was a good strategy for Amira holding the study room. Unfortunately, not having the control towards the aviator room and having huge amount of angles being placed without having a roamer trying to hold the Mira's exact location would have been worked out if Mira had his another teammate watching his back so that he'll be able to mainly focus on holding the study room. But unfortunately, due to the attackers not even wasting their time getting their control, eliminating both the Mira and the specific operator who was still lurking around till the 90s hallway, they did, however, get the round in the previous round. We did see Dauntless Esports winning round 5-7, winning 2 rounds of attack and 1 round of defense. In second floor AVG, they are now back in first floor dining. We do see Triple with the pulse. We won't be able to see any difference from the operators picks except the Mira, in which has been 6 pick to a particular operator, I believe. And Hussein using the castle this time. It's very interesting to see Hussein picking up the support ops. Most of the time, you do see either a Zofia or most probably you do see a Jaeger being played. But this time, supporting his teammates, making sure he'll be able to get some huge amount of kills with the UMP is definitely a sight to see. But for now, still in the action phase, the defenders haven't completed their defense strategies just yet. They're still placing utilities, they're still making holes, they're still reinforcing, which should give Vanquish Paradox the upper hand when it comes to getting the control on second floor statuary room and trophy room. Knowing that, they'll be just drawn in, fine to see exactly there's absolutely no one, and Ghosty, with the help of Skeleton Key, will be able to give them good vertical lines of sight.
Verticality is essential when it comes to first floor dining, and that is what they're going to be emphasizing on. But Sinking Donut is going to find Mellow in the meanwhile. That is a big piece of soft breach utility gone. The Sophia already off the board. Mellow dropping early, but here's Ghosty to try and find one. He does, and barely gets away before his head got taken out because there was a second peek that I don't think he saw coming from the side of the defenders. That's a big kill. Sinking Donut is a very good, crucial operator for DE. Not to speak any ill of the rest of the team, mind you, but Sinking Donut has been outstanding for the most part whenever he gets to perform. Unfortunately, this round, he will not after that very important first kill, which was a pretty big one, all things considered, as Ghosty, he's going to be continuing his reign of absolute terror on the floorboards below him. C4 goes out, but that will not find anybody. In the meanwhile, that's another C4 taken care of. Triple still has his, mind you, and that is, I believe, the only C4 remaining, unless a Vidvi still has his own. No, he doesn't. Triple is the last one with the C4. The last C4 on the map today is that. Might come in for a big play. Boom's gonna find one. Evil Extra goes down. That's another big kill. But the Summer Breach is gonna open up a line of sight that he has to worry about inside of that pantry wall.
Well, already damage being done to the side of Dauntless Esports, as they are a little bit problematic. They still have information, but they are scattered around, making sure that they don't get caught from the attacker's line of fire, in which Ghost will be able to still give pressure towards the defenders as we are able to claim one life. Crown will decide to rappel in towards the pantry stairs as Nostalgia will be able to see one and gets the life, eliminating Boom, making it a 2v3 situation here. Triple will be he won't be able to use his card extension to gain information now, but Ghost will be able to find one downs and gets the confirmation. Goes with triple kill. It's all down to Triple. He's holding on from the first floor dining. He'll be able to get one. Can he gets two? Nostalgia thinking of going for a plant, but he says it's better to get the frag instead. No, he actually goes for the plant on the default. He still has the C4, I believe. One C4 should do the trick. Will it happen? No, it does not. It was out of reach. And now it is post plan for the Pulse. Less HP, UMP in hand. A dream to make a 1v2 happen. He just needs information. Free fires do come in. Nostalgia making an aggressive peek here. Triple, he has rotation, he has angles, he doesn't have information just yet, and that information will claim his life. Vanquish Paradox winning round 9, first floor dining. As we take a look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, they will be in match point against Dauntless Esports as we proceed to round 10. Dauntless Esports, they were performing well in round 5 to 7, but with VPG gaining control in the second half on attack, they will continue to keep their momentum. Second floor ABG will be the site. A match point is in for Vanquish Paradox. And let's see if Dauntless Esports have a statement to answer.
Right now, of course, going back to AVG is probably the only hope that Dauntless Esports has to try and bring things around. It was the site that they managed to win, and they did it pretty well, mind you, all things considered. And right now, they're going to have to try and do that again. Boom with the 6 pick out of the Vigil into the Legion. Picks at the last second, as that was unfortunate for the Pulse in that last round.
Defenders,
The
protect
UMP
your
and a
bombs from being
dream,
defused
the
by
last man
attackers.
standing. Unfortunately for him, it was not to be. VPG on match point 6-3. Dauntless. Ooh boy, they are not looking too good. They're not looking too hot this game. Even though those 3 rounds, that little burst of good performance that they brought out, one has to really thinking about it now, you know, looking back at it from the late game perspective. Really just turns out that VPG were being a little bit all over the place, being a little fast and loose.
10
And as
seconds
soon as they
remaining.
tighten up their attack approach, as soon as they tighten up their team approach to the
5
game,
seconds to insertion.
well, we can see the result of that. 6-3. You don't exactly get that if you're
Attackers
all
are
over the
moving out
place,
to locate
fast
a bomb
and
and
loose,
defuse it.
not really focusing too hard. VPG, they definitely are right now. Dauntless, they are gonna have to try and bring this back. It's gonna be a big fight, a big uphill battle, and they need to win it at all costs.
The attackers now spawned in the fountain as well as on the ruins, as they will make a coordinated push. First, they'll get the control on the first floor art studio, in which they will make their way through the red stairs by traveling in towards the piano room. Abidvi will be able to waste a total of 3 shotgun shells to take out
A bomb
one
has been
attacker
located.
drone. Although ammo conservation is one thing when it comes to using a shotgun, but most of the time you just, use it to try to at least take out. A total of 2 drones being taken out from Awid. We are good holding red from the main stage, although you do need to be prepped and prepared while going up against a gunfight with a specific operator, and that would be Mello, who decides to push in right from the main stage. Smoke gas canisters will be used to make sure that push from the main stage would not happen. We do have triple right from the red stage, as Sinking Donut with the roaming duty. He'll be in mudroom for now, waiting for the good amount of information that has been relaying on the side of the defenders. Talking about the attackers for now, we still see the buck being played using the vertical lines of sight to at least try to eliminate some of the players who are currently holding from the AVG. Some entryways being made so that the attackers can not only just make an angle but also get the entryway fast as soon as possible.
Well, that was an interesting impact grenade used to damage Exeter a little bit. The Ash, that is, from the Legion down below. Boom, playing a big roam game with the Legion, which is a little bit of a thing that I don't understand what the mentality is to send your Legion out on a roam, but right now Hussein is going to send Mello to the grave. That's a big one, as again, the Zofia will drop early. Boom, in the meanwhile, speaking of him, has rotated back up to the second floor. Hussein's taken so much damage as the Chef's grenade is being prepared. Will it find one? No, it does not. No damage is done either. Crown Clown unfortunately missing out on what could have been a big kill, as the Maestro is still alive. Slowly but surely, the Wingsters push coming in, but X is going to find one. If it goes down, there goes Hussein. 2 big drops with the Maestro included. It's a 4v3 suddenly, as the peaks are going to come in any second now from Sinking Donut to try and find a kill, 2 or maybe even 3. Boom, in the meanwhile, trying to take out a drone as the wall he was standing at gets opened wide by the summer breeze of the Ace. Ghosty will go down, but there's another retaliation. Boom will fall. Exeter takes it, and now it's a 3v2. The flank has been spotted. It's being watched, and Triple can't go up there. All he can do is play vertical, and he will be doing that as Crown Clown's going for the plant. Is that advisable to be in that situation, in that position? Sinking Donut needs to be wide and fall. Will he see one? Yes, he will, but it's a post plant 2v1. All down to Nostalgia. Suddenly, things have taken a big turn. The Ace comes in. He's got to find the Jaeger on the other side of the bar. There's somebody behind him. Does he know? He does! And he's going to get it, but the counter defuse was going off. Sinking Donuts is off that now. And it's all down to this 1v1. Will the Ace peak? No, he won't. Sinking Donut's going to go out, but Nostalgia runs away in time. The default camp was given intel to the side of the defenders, who only have 17 seconds remaining. Sinking Donut, he's going to stick it, and this needs to come in from Nostalgia. He's going to run about this. Will he see the Jaeger? Yes, he will! Peeks around the rotate and finishes it off for his team, as it came so close, yet so far for Dauntless Esports. Nostalgia makes sure of that. As VPG, we'll see that in the ACT Fibernet replay, will take the game on Villa. It was close, especially on the second half of Roll Swap. And oh boy, what a match it was. 12 kills to Ghosty. That man really went off towards the latter half of the game. And at the end of 10 rounds, it is 7-3 in favor to VPG. Dauntless Esports will most likely keep their top spot for the time being, ladies and gentlemen. However, VPG now have 9 and will have a big jump up, contesting now with LYSC Valiance for that potential third spot. Speaking of Valiance, of course, they have a game coming up right after this one, which has just ended, but we're not quite done with this match just yet, of course. As all of our viewers are aware, we like to do a little thing called Relive the Moment, which will go live on your screens right now, where we take a look at the best moments of the match, the highlights of the match that we just had, and go over them, dissecting the plays and the strategies that both sides brought out for ourselves. So, with all that being said, Baba, please take us through them.
Well, talking about the Vanquish Paradox, they just daunted their opponents right from the first round itself. VPG, they've won a total of 4 defending rounds. A very impressive hold as well. Most of the time from Dauntless Esports, they always... their main focus is get to the site, although they don't use, they do use drone works to give good amount of information towards the site, but they do not find any rumors in which VPG took VPG always had that under control. They weren't hunting for rumors, in which they did give them the opportunity to get C4 kills, the flank opportunity right from the main stairs, giving them the kill. And Nostalgia, what impressive play, downing the Gridlock. If Gridlock was still alive, that would have been a post plant for Dauntless Esports, and hopefully Dauntless Esports would have won that at least one round on defense in round 3 itself, at least making it for almost making it, instead of a 2v4, into a 3-3. But talking about their way of attack, it was the similar push that we did get to see. Second floor AVG, they were pushing right from the trophy room, and then when the site was on second floor trophy room, they were pushing in from AVG. You don't see any high emphasis on getting the control on master bedroom. And also Vanquish Paradox, they always they didn't had any problems on dealing winning in gunfights against their opposition team, especially on the side of the attackers. The same thing also goes to them, winning at least on round 5 and round 6, where the site was on second floor trophy. They decided to keep up the pace, they decided to keep up the pressure. We did see Mello with a very aggressive peak with the shotgun, getting 2 kills and then sinking Donut, knowing that going up against a shotgun in close range combat would not be a good idea. He's just going to maintain his distance and eliminate him from a faraway distance. And then we did see Nostalgia yet again with the Alda, trying to pre-fire into Glory, but unfortunately with not having enough amount of bullets, pre-firing the entire magazine in one single door. All Ash had to do was to just push in towards the side and get the kill. And then that was the only round where Dauntless Esports did get a flawless victory in round 6. And then for a moment in round 7, where Dauntless Esports were on defense, we thought that they would have a good amount of control, but unfortunately VPG's attack coordination did adapt to it in the next round, from round 8 to 10.
Oh, absolutely. VPG coming around from round 8 through 10, absolutely shutting down the side of the defense. As Dauntless Esports, they had a good run, a temporary run, however, as they were taken down one by one, and it was a VPG show right at the end. And really, it was just down to VPG deciding, all right, we've given away a few rounds, we've been a little bit all over the place, let's pack things, tighten things up and make sure that we still get this game, because mind you, VPG, they'll be looking to get back into Division 1. And of course, why I say get back, because when they were formerly Virtual 5, they were one of those teams that kept moving between Div 2 and Div 1, and they made some pretty good plays, all things considered. So to be in Division 2, for going up from Division 3 in this season, they will look to turn things around as we go and get into Division 1 for Season 3. Of course, there's still a few more factors that they have to worry about, and that One of those is the match upcoming right now, ladies and gentlemen. As we've just finished up the Reel of the Moment, the next match that we have is Exterminate Esports versus LYSE Valiants, another team who are looking to get back into Division 1. Will they be able to? Will Exterminate make a claim for that top spot? We're about to find out on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WD BLACK Esports Club Pro League 4 Rainbow Six Siege, supported by Ubisoft and in association with ACT Fibernet and AFK Gaming. I'm your host, Blackjack. Joining me is my co-host, Baba Gusta and our Abanaisen, as we are here for the final game of the penultimate day in the final week of Division 2, and that is LYSC Valiance taking on XTM Esports. A big game indeed for both sides, as Exterminate are looking to get up to that top spot after Dauntless Esports has lost earlier today, while Valiance are also looking for that. They are second and third currently, and they could take the first position. Any one of them could, and that can still change with their final day of play remaining after tonight. We'll be going into the match live on your screens right now, as Valiants are on attack, XTM are defense. It is Oregon, and let's get this show on the road.
Well, we're just waiting for the attackers. We're just waiting for the teams to finish up their ban phase. Talking about the attack phase, it's going to be Lies Valiants who will be on attack, and XTM will start to ban the Thatcher. Mike Baker, aka the Thatcher, on the side. In the attackers phase, unfortunately enough, he won't be available. A standard ban, as we like to call it, on the map Oregon, he won't be available. But if this is Lies Valiance's ban on the side of attack, maybe a hard breacher or a denier ban would be enough, but looks like they are going to ban the hard breacher instead. The Maverick will be banned on the side of the attackers. And talking about defense, this we did see a lot of changes being made in the defender bans. Sometimes we do see Amira being banned, sometimes we don't see Amira being banned, but sometimes you do see either a Valkyrie or a Melusi being back. And talking about Lies Valiants, they want to ban the important operator right off the bat, eliminating Jaeger. Well, that would actually be giving a hint, saying that we might be able to see a Ying being played on the side of attack. A total of 3 Candelas, in which the defenders needs to be prepared and be ready to make sure that they'll be able to hold the aggression, as XTM Esports will be able to ban the final operator on the side of defense, as it is going to be the Mira. End of the ban phase is going to be Thatcher, Maverick, Jaeger, and Mira, which would give the Valkyrie being available. There is the Maestro still available, including the Melusi and also the Vomai, although the only operator that can be able to catch projectiles would be the Jaeger and Vomai, and still Vomai is still being available for the defenders. It will be very easy. It won't be easier for them, but still they do have to deal with some certain challenges. But for now, let's introduce the rosters. On the side of Lies Valiants, we have Kingslayer, Dibjol, Dova, Killen, and Shady. And on the side of Team Exterminate Esports, we have Skullex, HMBK, Rini, Triggered, and Bordweo. Starting off with the 6 big, the Alibi, gets switched off to the OEA operator Oryx, as well as Killens, which is off from a specific operator. Maybe I think it's the Ying pick on the 6 pick. There you go. There is a Ying pick from Killen. And with that, the match is underway.
Absolutely. The first round will be underway on a basement, laundry, and supply room. Not really too surprising, all things considered. Killen, however, with the Ying pick, there we go. As it goes, you have the Jaeger ban. That can mean a fair few amount of things, but most usually it means the Ying will be in play. Exterminator, of course, they don't have anybody to counter Ying other than, of course, the Wamai. Wait a minute, now that I look at it, they don't actually have the Wamai. Triggered has brought in the Oryx instead. So in terms of utility denial, there is no utility denial from the side of
Attacker's objective is to
defense. The only things that can soak up some attacker utility are the castle barricades and the Melusi's Banshee. But other than those, and that's also few and far between, mind you, there's going to be a whole lot of flashbangs and a whole lot of impacts and concussives flying all over the place, from the side of the attack, especially with the Ying in play. I'm not sure if this is the play from XTM, but with the Clash in hand, Rini could start things off and take things, to the next level for this defensive team. It all depends on how they end up playing. Bordveo right now on the back stairs of tower. Will he be spotted on the drone? No, he won't be. He's pushed up, but there's a 3-man cross to turn him down. And Dova will be the one to secure that trigger. Meanwhile, on a vertical angle, he's been spotted, does a lot of damage to Shady, and the Ying was the one who started pre-firing on him first. Triggered is low on HP. He's got Skullix for support, but there's already a breach in the attic. This play from Valiance looks like they really know and are on top of trying to keep on top of what they need to do going into the minute 40 mark. As there's going to be a kill from Triggered onto Digital. He finds two. Hello, where did he come around from? With the help of the Clash, he's going to find two very important operators. Hand drop the diffuser, not quite. Shady has control of the diffuser. Kingslayer is low on HP. What suddenly happened right there? Exterminate have suddenly taken control.
Well, the entire attacker starts to crumble down. Only 3 players left. That would be Kingslayer, Shady, and Killen. And looks like the lights will be on for Ying as the Candelas. A total of 3 Candelas being used to give the access towards the blue. Sad to say that entire 3 Candelas will be a waste because there isn't any operators holding down that specific angle. Triggered with the Oryx, he's been making some extreme plays, and Shady will be able to find one with an incredible angle, eliminating Grinny, giving them the access towards the boilers. It's just going to be a matter of time where Killen starts to push in from the electrical room, finds MBK, claims her life, making it a 3v2, almost gets a hold of the site. They're just waiting for Shady to get ahead because he has the diffuser in hand. He needs to plant the diffuser so that XTM will be forced to take a retake towards the site.
With only 2 operators remaining, one of them is very low on HP. Triggered, that is. They're going to have to be careful. Skullix more specifically, but Killen's going to go down. That's big from Skullix, playing the hatch from the looks of it. He found a very important kill because Shady and Kingslayer can both go down in a single bullet, and they will. That's going to be the first one. Skullix to find Kingslayer. Can he find the Zofia? No, he can't. He gets taken out instead. It's now the show of the low HP operators, and Shady will come out of that on top. Triggered will go down, peaking the rotation between sites as the Oryx will fall, and Valiance, a little bit of a messy mid-round, will finally take the first round on attack. We saw that in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, of course, and that is going to start us off 1-0 on the map of Oregon.
Well, 1-round win to the side of the attackers. As we proceed to round 2, second floor kids dome will be the site. Do have to appreciate a really good use of an angle right from the attic. You should be able to hold the angle from the big tower stairs. You did see the entire team of Lice Valiance's plan of attack is to get the control of big tower. We did see a total of 4 players. Neither did we see one of the operators on the side of attack decides to push in right from the blue bunker entrance. And as we did see Ying in the end, almost at the mid-rounds, using a total of 2 Candelas to get ahead. And you did see the last Candelas being used from, I believe, from the boiler to try to take out the clash in which Shady, the Zofia did work out well in their favor. Talking about this round, we do see good changes in the side of the operator picks. We do see Skullix with the Melusi, MBK with the smoke, MBK with the mute, and Rini with the... Did I just say it out right? I did say mute and smoke. I just completely forgot out of nowhere. I do know that both of them are an SAS operators. Still, sometimes you get a bit confused because, most of them has the similar gun, the shotgun and the SMG-11. The only difference is that they have a different gadget. One having a mute down that can block any drones, as well as the soft breach or hard breaching utilities, as well as the smoke's gas canisters, in which would enable you to halt the attacker's push coming in. For now, we do see a total of 4 attackers being spawned in from the west side, and the Zofia will now proceed to get control of first floor kitchen, and hopefully we might be able to see some vertical lines of sight being displayed on the side of Lice Valiance.
Well, verticality is one of those elements that you like to have, but Shady is going to like to have that kill on the Skullix. That's a big drop on first floor. Indeed, the Melusi is gone, and that's an MP5 off the board. The only other remaining, of course, is the one with Omai, the MP5K, triggered. He's going to have to hold in sight because he knows he can't go out too far with the Jaeger ban in place. Meanwhile, just like we were talking about, verticality is being established from Shady, as he knows he needs to get the line of sight on these defenders, as Killen will start off again and find it triggered. Another operator goes down as the Womai will fall. A big drop indeed, as there were, I believe, 3 more magnets that the Womai had in his pocket that he could have thrown out. There's going to be a drop in the meanwhile as Nova gets taken out. He's going to complement that shot from Rini, mind you, as it was a fantastic one, but he's going to choose to go in the flames. He's exposed, and he's going to be flushed out and killed by Dibjol alongside the help of Kingslayer. The Capitao C4 comes out, and with nowhere to go, the Nomad on White Stairs will drop as well, as it is a 3v3 going to the minute 20 mark. And oh, the Kaid saw the Zofia but didn't get the trigger in time. MBK taking so much damage from Kingslayer will go down, and that will be round 2, going the way of Valiants. They lost a few bodies, but this time only 2 for that matter, as their take was a lot better in this round than it was for the basement take. Indeed, round 3 will be underway. 2-0 is the scoreline, and we're having a little bit of deja vu right now, as Valiants, much similar to Vanquish Paradox, are taking the early rounds pretty well, all things considered. Will we have the mid-round turnaround from Exterminate, or will this be a straight push through? We're about to find out as we head to second floor dorms in Doors Main Hall.
Well, I was about to just have a question whether Board Veo is about to switch into the Caviera, but unfortunately it's just going to be a 6-pick where he decides to switch to the Maestro. Actually, no, wait. Actually, it is. It is a 6-pick to the Maestro, you know. Most of the time, you wouldn't know what... I mean, you wouldn't know what kind of picks the defenders or the attackers would be able to make, because they still have a total of 10 seconds to pick which kind of operators that they do need to go on to, followed up with them choosing what kind of loadouts that they need. Not sure enough, we might not be able to see an automatic shotgun from the Maestro, but for now, Lights Valiants, they are in a 2 points lead in attack. Triggered will be the one who will be playing as the Wamai. The deployable shield will be placed near the second floor kids, in which will be able to hold the angle from the trophy. Although since the Jaeger is banned, you won't be able to see a deployable shield being placed right from the trophy to watch near the second floor master bedroom. Is an interesting use of deployable shield being placed right from the Dom's main hall. Instead, the smoke was going to hold the angle from that specific position. Although Lysis Valiance's plan of attack will be the same yet again, we will see the Capitao uses fireballs to flush out the smoke's position where he was exactly holding on from the second floor kid's window, and then the Zofia, who at least tries to cover them to make sure that there won't be any Romus presence being detected from that specific side. Rini, with the SMG-11, sees the drone, doesn't eliminate. Actually, he does shoot it, which would compromise the location, and Zofia is forced to take action here. Impact is being used to remove the Meluchi's Banshee deterrent, as Rini will be able to make lines of sight right from below. The windows are being opened, Skylex holding on from the security, with some good angles being made, but he doesn't see that the drone work in which the attackers will be able to find out exactly what their location is.
Something I'm noticing already from Valiants is they're a little bit faster, a little bit looser this time around, but it looks like they might still have that same sense of urgency that they have had in these first 2 rounds. We've got magnets that have been burnt out by the Capitao smoke bolts, or that could have been the Capitao Kingslayer trying to do a bit of a big play. But in the meanwhile, the Iana will not be. Killen goes down. Trigger takes that kill. Board Veil with another, as Kingslayer, he tried to go for a peek, or just rotating around by that big window, goes down, while the Iana was completely unaware of a Wamai playing on the second floor. Shady in the meanwhile gets dazed by his own concussive. He will manage to take out the deployable shield of the smoke on that dorm's main hall area, right next to the bunk bed. But with Skullock still playing down below, Dibjol, he doesn't know where these defenders are. There's 2 of them down below, mind you, which are gonna be a big pain for the side of the attack if they are not able to clear them out. They've got a minute remaining, 60 whole seconds to get it done and get into sight, but looks like Dibjol wants to get into sight instead. He's got an angle that he's watching right now through the kids' dorm window, while The rest of the defenders are all clamped up inside a site. They know that they just need to hold. They need to wait for Valence to come to them while the drone works. From Shady will spot Manusi down below.
Well, XTM with the man count lead, Dibjol decides to be aggressive, finds one, gets the other, but gets instantly refragged onto MBK, which would make Shady the only operator left have to find 3 players. Now, Skullex right from the freezer stairs, he goes down, surprisingly enough, as Shady gets a double kill. Still needs to find 2 more, in which MBK is still right from below the first floor dining. They do have the information on where exactly the diffuser is. Shady doesn't have information, but the defenders now have. Rini prepped and ready with the SMG-11, downs him and uses the knife for the confirmation, as XTM Esports will finally fight back, winning round 3 second floor kills. As we take a look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, we will now proceed to round 4, where the score count is 2-1, favoring on the side of Team Lies Valiance. An impressive attack that we did get to see for the past 2 rounds, and Exterminate Esports with having a total of 2 early rounds in which forced Shady to do in a 1v3 situation, which of course he did get confirmation towards the side, but not having much enough of information led Exterminate Esports win that round. As we proceed to basement laundry rooms and supply room, we'll see whether Team Lies Valiance be able to keep up the lead, or will Exterminate Esports equalize the round count against them. 6 become in as Killen switches from the Iana to the Ying yet again.
The Ying being brought back in, understandably enough. You're pushing basement. You want to have as much clearance potential as possible, while Wamai is not going to be brought in from XTM once again. Even though they did bring it very close in the previous basement laundry round, you still have to ask, is it a wise decision to not have Wamai when the Jaeger is banned? That is the real question, shall we say, for the side of the defense. Because when it comes to holding down basement on orange, sure, utility denial isn't exactly the most important thing in the world, but it is still a crucial element in a lot of situations, a lot of strategies that we've seen be brought out time and time again from a multitude of different teams. Not from XM Esports. They want to play hard and fast, and they want to get those gunfights going their way. That has been, of course, a weakness of theirs before, where they just did everything correct. They got the work done, they got the defenders cornered, but they lacked in their gunfight potential. That has happened before, but tonight it has been a little different, as they have managed to take a round and take a few heads on their way to that first round. That's what they need to take from the lost rounds as well. The positives, which outweigh the negatives right now. Triggered, however, is going to give away his position. That's a little negative right there. As being on Addict, the man needs to keep his position hidden. Needed to keep his position hidden. Needed to have a little bit more trigger discipline right there. Turns out he didn't, and now he might just get pushed on.
Well, triggered with the pre-fire right from the meeting hall wall, will be able to tag good amount of damage right from the basement stairs. Shady will be able to take a bit of a damage there, but his main focus is to go towards the boiler room and get the control as soon as possible. Triggered will be able to see one, tries to go for the pre-fire. The Sophia also does the same, dealing good amount of damage to Triggered. Thrown in, and he actually sees the shot. Shady winning against Trigger right from the attic as Bonveo eliminates Kingslayer, who was apparently pushing in right from the electric room. Good amount of smoke gas canisters being used, and also the Candelas, as Dova takes a lot of damage, but the Candelas are still working out well. The pre-fires come in using the bailiff to try to damage one, in which he will, downing the Sophia right from the boiler's room. As Rini, he has equipped the shotgun. He knows that there is the attackers pushing in right from the boiler. That shotgun shot will work out. One goes down. He needs to find 2 more, and it's going to be MBK with the SMG-11 eliminating Shady. The shotgun will be shot yet again, but he deals damage. On the other hand, Rini with 10 HP needs to be careful, and in which he doesn't, as Dibjol claims the life of Rini, making it a 1v3 situation. They still have Killen in the boiler. He could go for a potential revive, but it's going to be denied nonetheless. XCM winning round 4 on defense, basement laundry. As we look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, we now proceed to round 5. Looks like they did, however, manage to equalize the round count against them. As we for team exterminate Esports. They still have 2 more rounds left in the first half. Getting a lead would be a viable choice for them, and it's also the same going for the attackers as well. They do need at least some. We might be able to see either a 4-2 or a 3-3 scoreline. The only question is in the second half when XTM will be on attack. Let's see what kind of plays that they are going to do. We do see Shady with a total of 8 kills, and we do see a 6 pick as Dibjol switches from the Montaigne to the Sledge.
That's an interesting six-pick right there, bringing in the Sledge. I'm pretty sure they are counting on a dining or meeting site, really, because kitchen is the common denominator between both, and that site usually has a lot, and I mean a lot, of soft breach verticality to be played by the attacking team. They know this, of course, Valiance, and they will have the Sledge in place just in case. Alongside, of course, Shady and Killen for a lot of soft breach that they will need to get into the site itself. And then there's the execute. Mind you, Valiants have been pretty one-track today, all things considered. And why I say one-track... Oh.
5 seconds to go.
Wait a minute. Hello.
Attackers are moving out of the
Yeah, talking about
You
it.
guys hear me?
Yeah, action
Oh, okay.
phase. Yeah, take it.
Oh, yeah. I was confused. Everything paused in my screen. I was like, oh, okay, that doesn't look right. But yeah, just like, of course, Bob was saying, action phase is going to go live right now, and verticality will be something that Valiants need to work on. But what they also need to work on is their one-track push that they've been having. One-track push, as in, they've been trying to do the same thing for multiple rounds now.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, you might want to. All right. So, a little bit of a technical difficulty, ladies and gentlemen. Reloading. Guys, as the Discord seems to not be responding to our wishes today. But of course, enough about that, Baba. Please.
Yeah, I mean, talking about it now, we do see Kingslayer using his flame bolt to try to make sure that the attacks from the defenders wouldn't come in, and looks like Shady with the Claymore will be able to claim the life of Triggered, who was apparently going for a run out. The Castle UMP going for a run out was a very weird one, but still it doesn't work out well, which would lead Axiom in a very difficult spot. Skullex with the deployable shield holding down the hallways of the showers, and we do see Rini reclaiming back the deployable shield, and maybe he's just going to rotate back towards the kitchen. They have opened up the hatch, which will be able to rotate back as soon as possible, making up an angle and hopefully use the smoke gas canisters to prevent the push happening right from the first floor dining. But talking about it, Dibjol will be able to eliminate Skullex, who was apparently pushing in, which would give Lice Valiance the upper hand. 2 players gone, the smokes are being thrown, and Dova will proceed to go for the plant. Push comes in from the Alda as the Ash will be able to capture it, making it 5v2. Killen will be able to eliminate one, making it a post-plan situation here. Smoke will be able to claim some damage to Dova as Rini is using melee to at least try to take out some barricades, but unfortunately enough, you won't be able to push in. A lot of angles being paced. Not having good amount of information would give Kingslayer an easy kill, which would lead MBK with the MP5K in hand. Has to find out a total of 5 players. Won't be able to see the Ash. Now he does, claims the life, making it 4v1. But a total of 15 seconds left for XTM. He needs to find 4 more, and also he needs to defuse, in which he need a total of 6 seconds. Already inside dining hall, a lot of explosions with the frag grenade. The prefast comes in with the SMG-11, and finally, Shady will be able to eliminate MBK with a barrage of gunfires, explosions. It was technically watching a particular serial which I remember, in which, you know, the explosions and gunfires happen on between, and you say, "Cool guys, don't look at explosions." That's exactly what happened, but unfortunately, Lice Williams will be able to claim the win, making it 3-2 as we proceed to round 6. Second floor Kids Dome will be the site for them.
Well, taking back the lead, the side of Valiance, very well done to them indeed. As Exterminate, well, they tried, but turns out kitchen dining was not the site for them. Not a good site per se, as they unfortunately lost the plot somewhere between the hard breach coming off from the Ace and the Claymores flying from Shady, the
Defenders,
Zofia.
protect your
See
bombs
right
from
there?
being defused by
Right now, of
attackers.
course, going back to second floor dorms, this is the side that they did win a few rounds ago, and a much needed win it was for XTM. It allowed them to go down to basement and then take a couple of kills. However, looks like it is going to be a rehost, ladies and gentlemen, from the side of Exterminate Esports. As the Rios has been
Attackers have
confirmed on
recovered
board
their
Vale,
diffuser.
well, he goes on a bit of a killing spree on his own teammates. Of course, jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, that's just whatever remaining feed we have before the rehost comes out on our ends as well. It is a 3-2 going into round 6 for LYSC Valiants, and a pretty good lead, all things considered. They've taken 3 rounds on Oregon, a fairly defender-centered map in its own right, and with that in mind, now that they've basically made sure that going into defense, they won't be in a deficit in the slightest. And the best thing that they can do here is take the lead going into round 7. Roll swap 4-2, pretty good situation to be in going in to that roll swap position. As Exterminate Esports, their top 2 spot that they have right now is being threatened by Valiants, who are looking to make their stake at getting into Division 1. Valiants have had a fairly alright season, all things considered. A few shaky matches here and there, but they've taken their wins when they really needed it, and now they really need this win and tomorrow's win as well. Whether or not they'll be able to, we will find out, as something that we were talking about before, of course, we had that little bit of a technical difficulty in between, was how Valiants has been a little bit one track today. And I say one track as in they've decided on one particular push and they've stuck to that push regardless of whatever the outcome is. As for instance, when you come to basement, on how many occasions now? 2 occasions, they have gone for the big tower backstairs push through into blue bunker and into site, and then get the plant off or get the kills altogether. Round 1, it worked out. It was a 1v2 all towards the end, and then round 4, it didn't, because it was read into by the side of Exterminate Esports. They're waiting for Valiants to make mistakes like this, even in second floor dorms. When Valiants took dorms on round 2, they did, or at least initiated, the same kind of a setup and push on round 3, which was read into, peaked, and shut down by the side of XTM, who then went to laundry, read into the push that Valiants were making, and then going into round 5, we thought they might change it up. They did. A few things were different, a few positions were different from Valiants, but their main push was still the same. 3 operators in small tower, clearing out lockers with the hard breach, and then site itself with verticality and hard breach, and then of course getting the plant off. Getting the plant off after taking a couple of important site-related kills. That's some of the good stuff from Valiant, some of the stuff we've come to expect from them, but their mid-round still seems a little weak, all things considered. Baba, why do you think that is?
I mean, talking about Valiance's style of attack, especially in the first half, we did see them being very confident. We did see Trigger using the Oryx when the site was on basement laundry. It was a very a rare angle that you do get to see right from the attic. She'll be able to have that good line of sight. Although Valiance is just like you pointed out, Jack, the Valiance style of attack was most probably to get control of big towers, in which you do see a total of four players on the side of attack pushing in towards basement laundry. You don't see more than 2 to 3 players pushing in from blue bunker. Instead, you only see, I believe that was Killen, who was playing as the Ying. Most of the time, you do see a 6 pick, especially on round 1 and round 4, using the Candelas. We did see 2 Candelas in blue, and then he uses the Candelas in the boiler room, in which it did work out in the first round, but did not work out in round 4 basement laundry, where Team XCM did handle it out extremely well. I do have to appreciate Rini with the shotgun plays, holding very close, knowing that he is more liable to be wall banged in that particular position. He decided to stay strong. He decided to be concealed, and if the attackers did drone out in that specific position, that wall bang would have been very viable for them to get at least a man count advantage, in which they did not, and they did, however, went out. But talking about Kingslayer's use of Capitão's fireballs, my God, especially on second floor kids, where most of the time you do see a smoke holding in right from nearby the second floor kids window. Technically, where most of the defenders with either a shotgun or a Jaeger is being played from that particular position, they would use the Capitão to try to eliminate them as soon as possible. Now, since Jaeger is banned, you could have played Wamai use those magnet nades to prevent the fireballs to happen, but unfortunately, sorry, the magnets, I do have to apologize, sometimes I try to mix both of them at the same time. But yeah, the magnets, the Vomai's magnets could have worked out if the Capitão's any bolts which come, even if it's a smoke or a fireballs, would have been able to redirect it into a different position, rather than forcing the defenders to push in on a different position, where the attackers always kept their angles. You do see the Nomad holding in from the white stairs, holding one angle, and the other who is rappelling in right from the second floor windows. They're just waiting for the Capitão's fireballs to come in, and when it comes, they just waits for the defenders to force on to be in a different position, and then they get, I mean, they literally just make a good clean out, in which forces the attackers to go for a plant. A very good strategic coordination coming in on the side of Valiance. There are some rounds in which they do make a lot of mistakes, but for Exterminate Esports, they're still holding their ground, 2-3, and we are progressing to round 6. Second floor kids might be the site, and let's see what's going to happen when we get all the confirmation from our admin.
Absolutely. Right now, we've got all the players back in the lobby, and looks like they are, in fact, ready. So we're going to make sure that everything is set properly, ladies and gentlemen. It is 3-2 in favor of LYSC Valiance, who are looking strong, at the very least for now, if they manage to get over their mid-round issues, where they start losing bodies and they start dropping a little bit in a few unfortunate positions and peaks. They will be able to turn things around and get this match really into their grasp. Right now, the match will be coming back live in just a quick moment. Valiance and XTM on the map of Oregon will be resuming on round 6. 3-2 is the scoreline, and we're headed to second floor dorms and dorms main hall, as of course the round had already begun when the rehost was called. So it'll be, for the most part, same ops, same site. Although I can see that, looks like there's a little bit of an issue with the bands right here. As, that's a little unfortunate. As Triggered has been given the AFK pick of the dock. And we are going to have a bit of another rehost, I believe. Looks like the rehost will be after this round. Pretty interesting right there. As round 3 will still go on with the Warden being picked in by Rini. As, well, alright, never mind. Looks like it is admin rehost. That's a very situation, ladies and gentlemen. We do have to apologize for this, as sometimes things can go wrong from our own host end, and at the end of the day, I can only say whatever I know, which is almost as much as everybody in chat right now, usually when it comes to these sorts of situations. The bans today, since we're on the topic of those, were Thatcher, Maverick, Jaeger, and Mira, who have been banned tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Not really sure how Valkyrie managed to get into the ban notes of our host, but we all make mistakes. The is human, as they say. As we will be once again remaking the lobby. We do apologize for the wait. Once again, we know rehosts and all that. They make people wait, and people don't really like to wait. We don't like to wait. There's so much action that we could have had already. Couple rounds worth of it. Maybe even a 1v4 clutch. We're missing out on all those because of a rehost, ladies and gentlemen. As it is what it is. Sometimes mistakes like these happen, and we will be getting back with this match as soon as possible. Now, of course, I mentioned it a lot that today is the penultimate day of the final week of Division 2, and that is because there is still one more day to go in Division 2, the final day itself, where it will be decided who gets to go to Division 1, who gets to stay back in Division 2, and who gets relegated or, just demoted to Division 3. But of course, as it were, Division 2 will have to wait for a little bit of time before it wraps up its days of play because starting tomorrow and the day after, it is the South Asia Majors, ladies and gentlemen, the November Majors for our region, and the teams that are playing there, Union Gaming, Mercenaries, Monk S, and L2K, are going to be duking it out with their all to see who gets to win the November Majors. And there's always that little chance that we might even have an SA team in the 6 Invitationals. That's a big deal in and of itself. So tomorrow and day after will be a break, shall we say, in terms of our own end of streams, and we'll be focusing our attention instead on the action in the majors to see and cheer on our favorite teams, of course. Alongside that, there's another thing that I need to get out right now, which is the fact that Season 3 registrations are in fact still live. And if you, your friends, or just by yourself looking for a team, want to get into the thick of the action in the WD Black the Esports Club Pro League for Rainbow Six Siege, then head on over to the Esports Club with the link down in the description below and get yourselves registered as a team or even as a solo player looking for a team. You see, Nevermind Esports down in Division 3, they are a team comprised of solo registrations. That, of course, comes with its own set of unique challenges and issues, but in and of itself, they've been a pretty good team and one worth keeping our eyes on. So who knows, maybe your team could be the next one to be a solo registration sensation and could even make it into the division stages of Season 3. That's going to be a lot of bragging rights right there, and I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there who want that and want that recognition of playing in the big league. So head on over to the Esports Club with the link down in the description below, and we hope to see you in Season 3. It's going to be a very, very good time, a blast, in fact, as we are waiting for the good times to resume here with Valiance and Exterminate Esports coming back into the lobby once again. Again, we do have to apologize for all of these rehosts, but now that we're here, now that we've got all of the talking and announcement and all that out of the way, and the 5 rounds worth of analysis from our dear friend here, Baba Gusta. Well, Baba, considering everything that we've seen so far, right? Given Valiance's mid-round issues and difficulties, given Exterminate Esports issues where they tend to lose gunfights more often than not, despite doing everything as well as they can, how do you think this match is going to proceed? Do we have overtime on hands or no?
Well, talking about overtime, it will happen, Jack, because the way how XTM and Lies Villains are going currently at it, especially in the first half, we might be able to see a 3-3. Most of the time when I say 3-3, it can happen. I mean, sometimes it can, sometimes it cannot. It can go either in a 2-4 or 3-3. Because most of the time, at the end of round 6, 2-4 and 3-3 are the main reasons why we do get to see overtime. And on second half, it's just going to be a matter of moment where Team Exterminus, when Lies Valiance will be on defense, and the way how they perform on the second half will be able to determine whether they're just going to make it a full clean sweep or they would have a little bit of problems dealing with Exterminus Esports' line of attack, in which might go on a higher chance of being on overtime. So talking about prediction wise, I might say that it can go for overtime, but I do know that the caster's curse is looking down on me, and he's just waiting for a beam of light to just appear out of nowhere and say the word nope.
I do like your analogy of that situation, Baba, as we're just making sure, double checking, triple checking, and quadruple checking that everything is set in place, and we in fact will be going back with the game in just a quick second, ladies and gentlemen. Just one more time to make sure that the score is in fact 3-2 in favor of LYSE Valiance, and the bans are still Thatcher Maverick, Jaeger, and Mira. They are indeed, and we'll be going back live with the game right now on your screens as round 6 will finally be underway after a fairly lengthy wait, all things considered. And this is going to be a very interesting game indeed. Secular Dorms is going to be the side of choice as Rini, he's got the Frost, but some tells me that's going to be the 6th pick out into any other operator, maybe even a Warden. Oh, looks like it is. They know and have read into that Valiance really likes their Capital, really likes their flashbangs, and maybe even a Ying or two. And that's why the Warden will be in play. Maybe all of this is just a secret ploy by both teams to get
Defenders,
Warden
protect your
played
bombs
more
from being
often,
defused
ladies
by
and gentlemen.
attackers.
But of course, I'm reading too far into the bans and the operator picks today. It's nothing like that. It's just that Warden happens to be a pretty good operator in these sorts of situations. And unfortunately for him, they come by far too few and not nearly often enough. That's why he's more of a meme than he is a viable operator, shall we say. Pretty good kid, all things considered. But, you know, you gotta feel bad for the guy at the end of the day. Doesn't get picked as often as he would like to, even though he's got those very cool,
10 seconds left
cool
before
guy
insertion.
I mean, yeah, talking about Wamai, when he was released into the game, he was more of like a gentleman. But now, when it comes to the Cedar, I mean, when it comes, sorry, not Wamai, Warden. Yes.
Yeah, I was
Warden.
about to say. I was talking about Warden. What?
I mean, I am an expert when it comes to confusing operator names, Jack. You know, Kali, Kaid, Wamai, Warden. I mean, I'm just hoping that if Siege decides to make another operator which would rhymes with one operator to another, it's just going to be a huge, you know, challenging words for a caster to talk about. But yeah, talking about Warden, he used to be a gentleman at the release, and now he's just retired, having a cup of tea back at his home. But for now, with the attackers, with the action phase being in play, we do see Shady opening up the getting the control on the side of the classroom to make sure that he'll be able to get the angles. I wouldn't say the angles. He's going to use his impact needs to try to take out any utilities being present. Maybe a mute jammer, most preferably a mute jammer, to hopefully be able to open it up as soon as possible. The Aces Selma bridges will be used to open up lines of sight, and Shady will make an angle right from the windows. Will be able to detect the deployable shield, switches to concussion to make sure that there won't be any Vamai's magnets, followed up with the impact to take out the deployable shield.
Well, that's going to be a lot of utility denied, along with a lot of lines of sight open. Ford Bail is going to know this. He's going to be not spotted. Hello. Vigil's going to go down, and Trigger finds another to take down Dova. That's a couple of very, very big kills, as what looked like a round going the way of the attackers. Valiant suddenly losing a couple of unfortunate bodies in unfortunate situations are going to be the ones in the disadvantage. 3 versus 5, and they haven't even made any headway towards sight outside of getting the closet and attic wall breached, which are also being watched, mind you. The defensive Shady's going to find one, do a bit of damage, a lot of damage. In fact, I don't think he knows that he's down to triggered, which means there's still a chance of that Wamai being picked up. If anybody is brave enough to push into attic, excuse me, with all of the operators watching it. Shady's gonna go down, and meanwhile Rini makes sure of that, and that's your Warden coming in. The flashbangs are nothing to him, as he will peer through them all and get a kill, a much needed one. As it's all down to Kingslayer and Killen, the last two standing. Kingslayer will go down, Killen the last man. The Ash caught just outside on Trophy in a 1v5, less than 30 seconds remaining. How much can he do in this situation? Not a whole lot, or maybe a whole lot if he manages to find a couple of bodies and get the plant off. He doesn't even have diffuser, and his angles are being watched as pre-fires are coming in. Rini, he's gonna bolt out of this, knowing that he doesn't have to do much, and there's Triggered along with the smoke to take the last kill. We'll see that in the ACT Fibernet instant replay. Killen goes down, Triggered makes sure of that, coming up the armory stairs, and that is going to be another round in favor of Exterminate Esports. It's a pretty good round, in fact. Second floor dorms, a flawless round to them for that matter, as it's 3-3 going into round 7. Roll swap, Valiance on the defense, going on to second floor dorms and dorms main hall.
Well, with Valkyrie being picked, and also a second half being introduced where Exterminate Esports will be the one on attack, we do see a huge different operators being picked from both the sides. We do see a 6-pick from Killen and also a 6-pick from Triggered. Just going to be a matter of moment what kind of operators they'll be able to pick. It's going to be the Ace on the side of the attackers, as well as the 6-pick of Clash being introduced on from the side of Kill. Now the side will be on second floor. Kids using Clash will prove to have a lot of difficulties for XTM. We don't see a Capitao being picked, and most of the time on the side of Valiance, you do see a Capita being picked to make sure the firewalls will be able to provide, which would force the defenders out, and also the smoke to make sure when the attackers go for the plant, the smoke will be able to block the defenders' line of sight. With Valiance, actually with XTM winning that round on second floor kids round 6, they'll be able to make the round 3-3, equalizing the score count. But what's interesting is that we do see Kingslayer playing as the alibi, those Prisma's holograms, which will be able to give good amount of information on what exactly the attacker's location is going to be. Action phase will proceed, 3 players will be spawned in, will spawn in towards the streets, and we do see the alibi, who is apparently doing the room duty right from the basement. With good amount of information, she will now with a good amount of information, she will proceed to flank either from the big tower stairs or at the basement stairs, to hopefully to get that surprise element as soon as possible. We do see Dova trying to be aggressive here as he decides to go for a pre-fire in the entrance of second floor master bedroom. MBK with the air jabs to block away the access from the basement stairs. Although there's a lot of damage being taken, it's going to be right from the big tower window. Kingslayer dealing good amount of damage to Skullex, but he still survives, and he is worried about that angle, which would give a lot of time being wasted from just specifically holding that angle. A good use of distraction there from the alibi as she decides to fall back and go to the meeting room. MBK is still holding from the main stairs as the drone works will proceed on the side of attackers.
Drone works will proceed indeed, as XTM knows that they need intel more than anything on where these defenders are sitting. Interestingly enough, Valiance have decided to invest in a clash, and Skullex is going to take some damage on that gunfight that he's trying to take the sledge on towards the trophy entry, but he's actually going to find Dova in the meanwhile. That's a big drop. That's going to force Killen back onto the attic door, excuse me, as he can't do a whole lot while trying to get out. No, Skullex! The smoke grenades will claim his life, but Rini will claim Dibjos. In the meanwhile, the refract comes in instantly, and it doesn't matter that Rini has been spotted by the alibi's gadget, as the holograms can only do so much for a recently deceased operator. Shady on the white stairs. He's got a good angle that he's holding onto that entry from the breach of closet. But with the disadvantage growing ever so wider of the alibi going down, what can Valiance do? Rennie finds Kingslayer, and it's down to Shady and Killen, the last two standing. Shady finds one. He gets the C4 out. Will he claim a kill? No, he will not. It's a 2v3, but it is very much possible. Valiance could still walk away with this. Rini will fall as the Nomad comes in, doesn't get the refrag in. Shady is going ham all over the place, but he's going to get the kill onto the diffuser. That's another big drop and a triple for the man. He will finally go down as MBK will take that kill. Flashbacks go out to try and dissuade the clash from pushing, as it's all down between Killen and the Nomad. MBK, 1v1. Who will take this? Killen can't do much in this situation. He will be flashed. He's being slowed down. MBK, he's not in melee range yet, but he will be in a second. And he goes in for it and gets the kill. Killen, he was wasting so much time, doing so much work as the clash, but he backed himself into a corner he couldn't get out of, and unfortunately, he was not willing to go for that clash turtle strat to get the kill, as that is another round for the side of Valiance. They will take round 7 after... Excuse me, not Valiance, for the side of XTM, who will take round 7 and put themselves in the lead 4-3 going into round 8. Second floor dorms, the side of choice once again.
Well, we do see Akali being picked on the side of Exterminate Esports. It may be a 6 pick coming in from the attackers, or it may not. They will choose to pick the Kali, knowing that the site is on second floor case. You do know that there is a mute jammers being placed, which would prove to be quite efficient, taking it out. Knowing that the Thatcher has been banned, the only way of eliminating those mute jammer is to either pick an IQ in which he has a good gun, the G8 LMG, the Commando, and also the AUG, in which you don't get to see those two weapons being brought up a lot. Knowing that in the previous patch, I believe, Commando 9 had a 1.5x magnifier scope rather than having an ACOG, in which you do see a less amount of Commando primary weapon being used, especially with the IQ mains. Most of them you do see the G8 with the holographic sight. It proves to be quite efficient for the attackers. would have been a good idea to pick the IQ at
5
certain,
seconds
you
to
know,
go.
situations like these, but looks like they want to, you know,
Attackers are
have
heading
things
out
the
to defuse
easier
the
way
bomb.
to pick up the Kali, so that they'll be able to use the gadget to hopefully take out the mute jammer, so they'll be able to proceed to open up the wall. Although they do need to be careful of the roamers, in which mute, surprisingly enough, is in the big tower stairs, and Doa and Chevy, Doa, who was apparently who did barricade the double doors, Shady will now try to remove it and just decide to go for at least a roam or a run out capabilities right from outside the construction entrance.
Well, right now, all that matters, just like the last round, is the intel from the side of XTM. They used it pretty well, all things considered, and Valence are going to have to change things up. They cannot afford to do the same thing over and over again, because that will get them caught out. But Shady,
Attackers drop the
going for a
diffuser.
big
Attackers
play,
recovered the diffuser.
does a lot of damage to Triggered and a little bit of damage to Skullex. Not enough to dissuade them from making their own pushes, mind you, and that isn't exactly the best start, all things considered. Triggered will have to be careful on the gunfights he picks, excuse me, because it's not going to take as many bullets as usual to finish him off. The Kali with the lance, making sure that the jammers will not be a nuisance to deny the summer breaches of Ace. That's going to be the main hard breach done on the closet wall. Outside, MBK barely avoids getting shot at by Dova, who was going for a big peek on the main door, mind you. He's had to run away quickly because those shots gave away his position, and he could not afford to stick around much longer. We've got a grenade coming in from Skullex. No, it is not. As XTM's attack is a little bit all over the place. They've not exactly looked at their best, looked to be at their best. But then again, that can change within a heartbeat.
Well, with the Wamai not being played on the side of defense, XTM might have a chance to get good amount of nade kills and also good use of those smoke grenades to give to at least block the line of sight. Clash will be able to deal a lot of damage right from Trigger, who did in fact use the Selma breaches to open up lines of sight, followed up with the C4. Rini seeing the clash and also a smoke grenade being thrown out to block the access in which the Kali was holding an angle to, but now she won't be able to get the access. Using the lance to make sure that they'll be able to destroy the Malusi's Banshee deterrent, as Triggered has the diffuser. And thinking of going for a default plan right from the entrance's door, but they do not have good amount of man count to at least eliminate these teams. And it looks like one frag is already coming from Kingslayer with the SMG eliminating Skullex as they want to keep the reflection going. 10 seconds left. Shady gets one, Rini gets the other, eliminating Shady. It all goes down to this exact 3 seconds. A lot of chaos, a lot of gunfire, a lot of explosion, and in the end, Dibjol will be able to find 2 impressive kills with the SMG-11, giving them the win on round 8. Second floor kids, as we take a look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, it all went down with the execution phase, where Exterminate Esports had a total of 15 seconds, and they couldn't even get inside the site at all. Like, they didn't get enough amount of man count. It was entirely 5-5. They had to go for the push. They had to go for the kill, and it was Lies Valiants, especially the SMG-11 Dibjol, who made that impressive play. And also an impressive play coming in on the side of Team Lies Valiants. They'll be able to equalize the round 4-4. And Killen with the 6th pick as he switches from the castle to a specific operator. Might be either a Vamai, there you go, the Vamai being picked, and Bodwayo decides to use the Kali instead. The side being on Basement Laundry, there was a huge emphasis towards the mute, but since we won't be able to see mute, we will be able to see the Khalid with the Electro Claws to make sure that we'll be able to, to make sure that even if the Kali's abilities won't be able to eliminate the Electro Claws as best as possible.
Electrical interference is, of course, something you always want to have when it comes to defending reinforced walls and hatches in terms of having a Kaid in play, of course, and Kingslayer will be well aware of that, so will be the rest of the Valiant's team. And with the Maverick ban in place, they don't have to specifically worry about
seconds left
certain
before
hatches that the Kali will be pushing. Board Vale, however, will be running around all over the
Attackers
map
must
trying to
locate and
give
defuse
his
the bomb.
team that little bit extra leg room to try and get a hatch or two broken wide open. Or he could just use those
Attackers dropping
lances on the Kali to get rid of utility, as the Ash isn't in play. Neither is the Zofia. Now that I look at it, Renee is bringing in the Ying, and we've got the Nomad being played by MBK. Trigger. He's got Ace, of course, very standard, and the Kali by Veo. And then, of course, you have Skullux on the Sledge. Special right there. He really loves his Sledge plays, mind you, and has done some great stuff with that British SAS operator, I should say. Sledge isn't exactly British, but yeah, that's a different discussion for a different day. Right now, we are... right now, we're going to have the push coming in from Blue Bunker as the Wamai's Magnets are going to start to catch utilities on that region, but that's only one piece as Killen. He's very close to the door right now, very close to entry door, and Dibjol could throw a smoke or two to deny the attacker's push and give the Wamai a line of sight to work with. Meanwhile, there's a backstairs push coming up from MBK and Skullix, who are waiting for the drones to spot where these defenders are placed.
Well, a lot of risk placed from the defenders. A very aggressive push, and it is a fortunate one for the defenders. Eliminating Port Veo. Killen gets the first frag. Killen gets another eliminating one, and an unfortunate weak frag gets triggered. Claims the life of Dibjol. The aggressive piece from Lice Valiance is working well on their favor, making it a 3v2. An ill-advised C4 being thrown from the Melusi, and in all, a ruthless battle finally coming to an end. Killen will be able to end the life of two players, one Ying and one from the Sledge, who's apparently pushing in from the big towers, will be able to give the win. Round 9 Basement Laundry. 5-4 is the scoreline. They need 2 more round wins to hopefully confirm the win against their opponents on map Oregon, and the site will be on first floor meeting hall. Knowing that they've successfully defended second floor kids and basement laundry, they're either forced to pick the other 2 sites, one being on dining and kitchen and the other in meeting hall kitchen. So meeting hall kitchen will be a difficult site for the defenders to hold on to unless and until if they get the upper hand. Just like we did see how aggressive Lice Valiance's was. The Wamai playing also very close on the basement entrance. We did see 3 of them. One in which the smoke was trying to take out the Ace's Selma breaches, in which it was ill-advised, but it did work out well in the end. Round 10 will proceed. Basement laundry will be the site, and let's see how well the cookie will crumble.
Bomb located
Well,
by
right
attackers.
now, with only 2 rounds remaining for Valiant to try and win this out, there's not much left for them, but the pressure is going to be immense because XTM, they are not going to give up, and they will try their hardest to win out this situation. Valiants, they will know this as going
10
into
seconds to
first
go.
floor meeting and kitchen. It's that site once again, the one
5 seconds
with
to go.
which shares the kitchen site with, of course, dining. And it's a
Attackers are
site that
heading out to
defenders have
defuse the
lost
bomb.
quite a bit, and that is Valiants, are going to have to try and win this one out. If they manage to, mind you, it will give them a big morale boost going into match point and allow them to have a really good chance of winning out this match, stopping XTM from continuing to stake their claim on that top spot. But how much will they be able to accomplish? We're going to have drones coming out on the second floor. It's a big second floor push coming in from XTM. They know that these roamers and the vertical play is going to be absolutely crucial for them, as there will be flank watch. There will be intel gathering, utility denial, and placement from all sides, as this is about to be a very, very bloody second floor take as the Melusi gets taken out. And Rini will find a quick headshot onto one and onto the other one. Kingslayer goes down, an ill-advised peek from him, as it is now a 3v5. Attic is being taken over.
With Rini gaining the control of the attic, Shady is holding the angle right from the hatch, in which Ash is holding an angle to Killen. He's just giving information for now as the attackers will now proceed using the soft breaching capabilities to make lines of sight. C4 comes in from Shady, doesn't claim the life. A mid-air denial from Rini as he eliminates the C4 at the right time. Dronauts will come in on the side of the attackers, detecting where exactly Shady's location is. As Rini is holding the anglet again, he has the support of board Veyo's flashbangs thrown in. Board Veyo is inside the side. Push comes in. The deployable shield taken out, proceeds to push towards, indicating, saying that the site is clear. They have to go for the plant, but they do not have the access on which the hallway is currently holding on to. With Bordweo sees one head, doesn't win the gunfight against the smoke as an instant refag comes in from the ace, making it a 2v3 situation here. Shady and Killen. Shady not having a C4 and Killen with the shield initially be able to find one, but that pre-fire through the wall will be able to claim the life, making it a 1v3 situation. Clash, unfortunately enough, won't be able to make a play either. XTM Esports winning round 10 first floor meeting as the score is equalized yet again. And also, as we look at it in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, we will now proceed to round 11. The score is equalized. This is anyone's game at this moment. And talking about, as we did have a conversation right at the rehost, and when Jack asked the question about whether if the match is either going to go to overtime, well, it's moment of truth here, Jack.
Oh, absolutely. It is a moment of truth for both sides as the match score being equalized 5-5. No one taking match point means we are, in fact, going to be going into the round of ones, ladies and gentlemen, as we've got Clash being brought in by Killen, but more importantly, we've got Glass
Defenders
being brought
protecting
in
bombs from being defused
by
by attackers.
Board Veo. And I can already see Baba in absolute shock back there, as you don't get to see Glass, let alone seeing him on Oregon. But this could be a very big differential that XTM needs. This could be the out-of-box thinking that they need, because Valiant, they are relying on the utility that they're bringing out and the denial as well, and all of those things. Glass doesn't see any of that. He's got his own smokes, his own grenades, depends on which one, of course, Bordway was taken, and his own little flip scope. He's got frag grenades, so he's gonna have to take help of the Gridlock and Ace with their own smoke grenades, of course. But more importantly, his flip scope having been recently buffed to the point where it's practically back to the same flip scope that it used to be at one point, allowing Glass to push very aggressively through existing clouds of smoke. It's going to be a very interesting situation indeed. XTM bringing in the Russian sniper. This could be the play that they need in round 11.
Well, drone works from the attackers will hopefully come in to give information, so they'll be able to do exactly what they were intended to do. So the only problem for Lies Valiance is that they do not expect a Glass being picked. We do see him not even using a single bullet, so that he'll be able to at least conceal that there is a Glass being played. So he'll be the one doing his drone works. He has the frag grenades. The attackers have a total of 4 smoke grenades, which will be able to give good amount of access for the sniper rifles. And talking about sniper rifles, we have both of them, the Glass as well as the Kali. Dova will be able to play closely at the doorways of the second floor trophy room as the flashbang comes in, blinding one, but they do not have, I mean, they did have a bit of problems with the mute damage, but since Kali has got it covered, they'll be able to open it up. But although the impact nades which did arrive from the defenders won't be able to make it, as the attackers will now have line of sight towards that specific room, especially that in the games room. Shady needs to make a play here. Currently he's in the big towers window as the smoke grenades comes in. This is the time where Glass makes an impressive play. A frag grenade comes in. Will it claim the life as a deployable shield goes down, which would forces the smoke to fall back to his respective site.
Second frag grenade coming in. Board Veo hears all of the scurrying around, and Addict does a little bit of damage to kill him, mind you. Oh, he barely connected. So did the Kali. That's a lot of damage that Killen just took, and he's walking around a little unprepared for this. But the Glaz's PMM comes out to find Dova, at least down him. Will he get the second? Does some damage. Dibjol, more damage. That's a down. That's 2 downs. The Shady will be falling as well. This is not looking good for Valiance as they are being taken out from all over the place. Ford Veo finds Dova finally, and Rini took down Kingsley in the meanwhile. It's all down to Killen, the Clash, the walking shield. As it's all down to him, the SMG in hand, solo on HP. What can he do in this situation? Trigger's gonna go in. He goes for the plant right by the door, covered by glass. And it's all the 1v5 situation for Killen. An unfortunate one and a nigh unwinnable one, as he's got 40 seconds to make this count. He can't even go for the revive. He wants to. One can tell that he wants to go for the revive, but he's just too apprehensive. And there it is. That will be Killen taken care of by the Ash. Rini confirms the kill, finishes it off, as it's not going to be Valiance who go on to match point. No, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be, in fact, Exterminate Esports, who are going to be 6-5 up going into the round of ones, where they only need 1 round to finish this off. Valiance need 1 to equalize and go for overtime. We're going to find out which exactly is the future ahead of us on Basement Laundry and Supply Room on the 12th round.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yet again, this is the round of ones. Will we see a match confirmation, or will we see overtime? We'll be able to see it at this specific round. We won't be able to see any 6-picks coming in. And just as I was talking about it, we will see a 6-pick from Killen as he switches from the Clash to the Vomai. This has been the 4th time that has been happening for me. This is the 4th time. Each and every time.
Everybody's really hitting you with that today, aren't they, Baba?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate for me, but I will take it as a champ, and hopefully make sure in the next upcoming matches I will be able to predict myself, saying that there might be a 6-pick. So for now, talking about the
50-50 chance. So.
I mean, it is a 50-50 chance.
Bomb
Yeah,
located
obviously.
by attackers.
For now, match point 5-6, XCM Esports. So we won't be able to see any 6-pick coming in from the attackers, and well, I believe on the side of defense they are prepped and ready, although we will be seeing the same operator lineup. The only difference is will the defending side decides to be more aggressive, as we did see on round 9. Vomai playing also very close, and the smoke in which he was placing his deployable shield, which would make a angle being placed. If 1 goes down, they'll be able to get at least 1 on the other hand, in which you'll be able to get the instant reflex. Shady thinking of going for a run out right from the big towers. You just need an information to at least eliminate one of them by surprise. Ace with the sun. Actually, it's I believe that was a Sunmer breach that's being used. Not sure where was it, but Dova will fall back towards the site as the information of the attack drones will get caught out, but they will have a total of 4 drones being used to give out good amount of information. Boardway will now proceed to use its frag grenades to try to eliminate the deployable shield, in which they will succeed, and the defenders will now force to reinforce the wall or either hold their ground.
The other option open to Valiance, of course, is to become hyper-aggressive and try and take a kill or 2 away from the attackers, as the reinforcement just barely goes off. And a peek comes in, but that will not work. Dova goes down, but the refrag is in from the Valkyrie, pushing in, finds 1. That's Shady, but doesn't find the second. They still have the glass watching that doorway from Boiler Room with the drone as well, but Shady takes care of that, and he will fall back towards site, prone all the way in, because he knows he can't go for any ill-advised shots or peeks triggered. Takes a bit of damage right now because there's another peek happening elsewhere that he has to be careful of. The Ace is low on HP in this 4v4 situation between Valiance and XTM. And with the minute 15 mark passing away, it's all down to what kind of a play both sides are willing to make. The Kali coming in very close right now on that entry, but it's a down on the Trigger. That will be secured, but the kill not so much, because they know Skullix is still here. Trigger will be revived. He was shot through the smoke as the glass is trying to come, and he's trying to make a play as well, but there's an answer from the Melusi stopping him from getting really close and far into sight. And he is going to just just inch on closer, ever so closer indeed. And now it's gonna come down to XTM's gunfight skills. They're trying to block off lines aside, trying to play and make it in their advantage, but it's not gonna matter. Dibs are gonna find one, Kingsley with another, and begin Trigger go down, but Kingsley goes down to board Veo, as that's a kill confirm. It's a 2v3, but the Glass doesn't know where the smoke is, and he will go down instead. Dibs with the double, and it's all down to Scullix to Kali, caught inside a boiler room. Can he find the one on backstairs? No, he doesn't. As the gas canister goes off, they know exactly where he is, at least a little bit of his
15 seconds to go.
positioning. The Kali, last man standing, finds one. Scullix 1v2.
10 seconds
He's got 10
remaining.
seconds to do this. He needs to find these two quickly, and they are sitting
5
in
seconds
good
to go.
positions. And there we go, Dibjol. He sees Scullix come in. He will take the kill. Valiant will be the ones to take round 12, as we'll see in the ACT Fibernet instant replay. But I believe everybody knows exactly what I'm about to say next. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to rumble? Overtime is in play.
Well, there you have it, gents. Overtime, round 13. And Exterminate Esports will be the one on attack. Basement Laundry will be the second floor. Kids Dorm will be the site for them.
They hit you again.
Yes, they hit me again. Jeez. Looks like I'm just having a bad day today, but for now, I'm actually very excited for this matchup because it's a lot of twists and turns, surprises, and quite an unfortunate scenes of events that we do get to witness here, as we see a 6-pick from Killen as he switches from the Womai to the
Attackers
Warden.
need to
You
locate
see
and
these
defuse bombs.
rhyming words that come in right from the 6-pick is it's so good. But for now, Killen thinking that on the side of XTM they might be able to go for a surprise pick, thinking that they might be able to see a Ying being picked. He will he'll make sure that it would be better enough knowing that there is a lot of smoke grenades being used, a lot of flashbangs being used on the side of the attackers. So maybe finding at least one or two weaknesses right out of that execution phase might be able to give them the win that they need. Lies Valiants, all they need is 2 wins, one from defense, one from attack, and it's just going to be a matter of moment when that overtime prep phase comes to an end and the attackers will start to spawn in
Attackers
the
must
action
locate
phase.
and defuse a bomb.
Well, with the action phase coming in for both Valiants and XTM, this is going to be a pretty interesting round situation. The Warden, 6th picked in by Killen, excuse me right there, is it going to be a pretty interesting operator, all things considered. But looks like XTM will not, in fact, be investing in the Glass once again. They know that given the current state of that operator, Glass, of course, the Russian sniper, he's a bit of a one-trick pony, because
Attackers
there's
drop
only
the diffuser.
more.
Attackers
There's
have
about 2
recovered
ways you
their
can go
diffuser.
about this. You either stay back behind the smoke, hold down lines of sight along angles and whatnot, or you push in with the smoke going off, which is a dead giveaway for Glass pushers when it comes to the way he's played. They know this, and they are going to decide not to invest in that operator. The Monty instead is going to be what they invest in. Board Vale, bringing in the shield from the French as Killen will go down early. Rini takes that big early kill as the Warden will go down. That's unfortunate, as we are going to be proceeding with the round. Minute 45 remaining on this situation, as we've got a little bit of a Melusi Banshee denying the Montaigne's push, but there we go. The smoke grenade comes in as the Montaigne will be forced to fall back via that. Shady in the meanwhile is going to get a C4 kill onto Triggered and another one onto Scullix. Exterminate Esports, with 2 of them have fallen, and 2 big kills
Attackers recovered the
indeed.
diffuser.
As right now, we are just waiting to see what's about to happen
drop
in
the
this
bomb diffuser.
situation. That's Shady with another. How's he getting these? Triple kill for him. Rini will fall, and looks like he was using... Well then, looks like there's nothing stopping him today. He's gonna get the quad, he's gonna get the ace as well. Goes around to find the gridlock. Shady, something must have ticked him off as he went out to get those kills, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely shredding through Exterminate Esports' attack, as the first overtime round goes the way of LYSE Valence. They will finally confirm match point, and it is overtime match point. going into round 13. 7-6 is the scoreline, and we are just waiting on the site to be picked. It looks like it will be dorms, but questions are still to be raised if Baba's experience is anything to go off of, and it will in fact be kids dorms and dorms main hall going into round 13.
Well,
14.
yeah, round 14. There you go. Second floor, kids dome will be the site, and this time it's going to be Exterminate Esports. Exterminate Esports on the one on defense. 6 becomes in as Rini switches from the Ella to the Warden. And we are going to proceed to the 14th round here. If XCM Esports do successfully hold their ground, we might be able to see a final round that would be on round 15, where it might be a deciding factor on whether who is going to accept the win of the map on Oregon. And talking about it, we did see some impressive plays, especially Shady, who did get the ace. All he had to do was just hold on from the second floor game room, in which he did get a total of he did get an ace, an impressive ace, to be honest, and they'll be able to keep the win on round 13 second floor kids. But now let's see if they'll be able to do the same in the attack. Action phase will proceed. We do see the Vamai in construction, in which he actually thought of going for a spawn peek, but unfortunately he won't be. And he's just going to wait for the attackers to push him towards the side, in which he'll be able to hold an angle or maybe try to confuse the opponents right then and there. Dimjol, he's just going to go to the roof, maybe trying to get control of... Actually, I wouldn't say control. Technically, he would go to the attic, in which it is located in the big tower stairs, in which he'll have the help of the hard breaches to make lines of sight. Surprisingly enough, we don't see any attic, we don't see any big tower push coming in from the attackers, but instead we do see a heavy emphasis on the second floor kids. And let's see if it works out this time for the side of Valiants.
Well, with the drones coming out from LYSE Valiants, they will be looking to gather intel as quickly as possible to make their execute happen as smoothly as possible. They're going to need to do that because their mid-round issues still persist, mind you. Because if Shady hadn't gotten that ace, had he gone down earlier, then the tale might have been entirely different. Borfeo will do the second impact trick onto that Selma hard breach from the side of defense. Very well done, as Valiants, unfortunately, will not have the hard breach to speak of, and the Maestro, oh dear me, that's not gonna look good for Borfeo when he comes back to review this VOD later on. Missing so many shots on the repelling attacker outside of bedroom. But of course it matters not, as it's time wasted for Valiants, and that's what matters for XTM right now. Shady, he's got to be careful. There's roamers on the first floor that are looking for his head on a platter, and he has to try and then not get taken out in that situation. He's playing vertical, but there's the Melusi to find him and get refragged onto instantly by the Ash, who will get shot by Rini. It's a bunch of refrags coming out from both sides, but that's 2 attackers down for the price of 1 defender. Fairly good deal, I'd say, as it's a 3 versus 4 going to the 50-second mark.
Kingslayer still has the crossbows to give them access way to go for the plant, but they do need to clear the site in order to make it, and looks like Rini is going to give them a hard time, eliminating Kingslayer right off the bat, making it a 2v4, make that a 1v4, as it all goes down to Dova, who is still holding an angle right from the windows of second floor kids, and he needs to make a play here. Will it happen? Just the peak will come in with the Alda, warning him to not enter inside the building as Dova. He's just trying to give them some confusion, some distractions. He doesn't have any drones just yet, and neither does the time. He only has 10 seconds in which Bordo will be able to get a bit of a damage right from the AK, but he won't have to deal with any problems eliminating Dova. XCM will be able to win round 14, second floor kids, as we proceed to the final round, the deciding round, to see who's going to win it out on map Oregon. Will it be Lies Williams on defense, or will it be Exterminate Esports on attack? Let's find out.
Well then, looks like round 15 will in fact be in play, ladies and gentlemen. And Baba was absolutely correct to call that we might even see maximum overtime. His hard prediction was that we would see overtime, but now he's gone even a step farther, and his slightly less calculated prediction comes true as well. Yes, Baba, I see your hand raised back there.
Even no. Even with the number of six pick that I did not guess right, at least I'm happy that I got to guess at least one of them right.
Well, I guess that makes it a 1 in 5 chances of one of your predictions coming true. We're going to
Attackers need
keep
to
that
locate and
statistic in
defuse as
mind
many bombs
for
as they
future
can.
matches, ladies and gentlemen. We'll refer back to the table, to the table made tonight to see exactly if Baba's predictions come true as often as
Attackers
he
have located
wants
a bomb.
them to. Right now, Valiant and XTM, they only have one round to go. This last round matters most for them, as whoever wins this takes the game, and there is no chance of a lead being taken, no chance of a, a retaliation. Leads and equalizers, none of that. It's all in the past,
10 seconds to
as it's
insertion.
all down to these last 3 minutes as to who
5
will
seconds.
walk away with the win. Will XTM manage to lay claim to the top spot of the
Attacker's
division,
objective is to
or
defuse
will
the bomb.
it be Valiant to lay claim to that spot? Let's find out.
Let's find out indeed. We do see the attackers spawned in towards the construction. A total of 3 players that would be both Vayo, Skullex, and the Hard Breacher triggered, in which they are now proceeding to try to get the control on towards the blue bunker. The defenders have good amount of information here. Their main priority is to eliminate Shady as best as possible, as we did see him getting an ace in round 7. Eliminating Shady will be able to give some breathing room for Exterminate Esports to mainly focus on getting that control. But for now, smoke gas canisters will be thrown out, not being able to give them the access to at least get inside the building, as MBK will be able to detect a run out right from the Valkyrie. Will she be able to get a kill? Pre-fires, actually, some gunshots will be heard, but she'll just fall back towards the Harry Potter spot. A lot of gunfires. I wouldn't say a lot of gunfires. It's just a total of 2 to 3 bullets being drawn with the MPX, as the attackers will start to slowly push in. 2 smoke gas canisters being used, and a reclaim of the deployable shield, in which the smoke will now use for a reinforced. Followed up with the first frag is going to be Borweo, eliminating Dipjo.
Well, that's a big first kill, mind you. The smoke going down early, that was not needed for the side of the defense, as Dibjoy has been taken care of. Now the summer reaches are going to go off, and Dova is going to see this. He's been droned out as well, his position given away. Shady wants to go for a peek. He's going to do some damage to the Ash. Rini, he knows that there's somebody on the back stairs right now, but there's MBK who will find Shady instead, and that is the Valkyrie to go down. Rini himself is a little confused as to where he needs to go. He will take care of the Banshee. In the meanwhile, that was slowing him down, potentially could have gotten him killed, but it didn't. He's still alive, and he's ready to make some more plays. We're at the last 60 seconds, 60-ish seconds for this game, as we've still got some breaches remaining. Boardman is going to find one. Kingston goes down. It's a 2v5, all down to the last 2 defenders, who are going to find one at least, but it's a 1v4 because Trigger has found Dova, and Killen, he's the last man standing. He's found one. Can he find 2? There's one in the rotate. He doesn't know! Riddy will take the kill onto Killen, and that is going to be XTM Esports shutting down the side of LYSE Valiants. We'll see that in the ACT Fibernet instant replay, as that is going to be Oregon confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. It was a long match, a long-winded one, but after all the ifs and buts and all the questions being asked, it is XTM, Exterminate Esports, who will take the points and put themselves up top on Division 2's table going into Day 6 later on. What a match from them indeed, as they will be the ones to walk away with the victory on Oregon 8-7. What a match. What a match indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Baba?
Absolutely, Jack. What a match I did get to see here. And also in the previous match, I did get to see Dauntless Esports versus Vanquish Paradox on map Villa, making it 7-3, in which VPG did exceed my expectations here, although they did had a lot of problems in Division 2. Getting a win against Dauntless Esports is definitely a happy moment for them. For now, let's just take a look at it and relive the moment, talk about the highlights, and explain about what exactly happened for the past, in a total of 15 rounds, 16 kills to Rini and 10 kills to Shady on the side of Lies Williams. An impressive play and also an impressive gunfights I did get to see. Although that isn't the correct KD ratio, because I did not take account of the first half of scorecard. So that was just a second half scorecard in which you did get to see 10 kills from Rini. Who knows? It might have been more than 20. But talking about the match here, around in the first half, we did see Lies Valiance claiming at least some good amount of attack wins on round 1 and round 2. We did see some a weird amount of operators changes from Exterminate Esports using the Oryx, aka the trigger, especially on a site on Basement Laundry, holding down the angle from the big tower stage did give them at least 1 or 2 kills, but the trigger did get triggered eventually did get an instant refrag in the second, actually from the second time where they did go up in Basement Laundry. It did not work out well in their favor. Lice Valence did try to keep up the pace, winning a total of again making it at least 3-3 in the first half. And talking about the second half as well, and also a bit of twists and turns, and also a good 6-pick did come in the side when XTM was on attack. They were playing as the Glass.
Well, given everything as coming out from the side of both XTM and Valiance, it was a pretty fun match all around, and I'm pretty sure our players felt the same, or at least a similar way, as Valiance will still need to work on that mid to late round conversion of theirs, while while Exterminate Esports will need to work on winning their gunfights more often and putting themselves in overall better positions than they were today. Their positioning has improved and their gunfight potential indeed, but that needs to go up a little bit more. There's still room for improvement, and when it comes to competitive Siege, there's never not any room for improvement. You're always improving, you're always getting better and better, and especially in a game as dynamic as Rainbow Six Siege, where the meta can change at the drop of a hat, you are going to need to be on top of your toes as much as possible. And there were some really good shots, some good plays being made, but also some questionable plays being made as well. We saw this in this blue bunker push. What was he doing? He wasn't watching his cover, while the C4 throw from the Melusi was just as equally, just as equally confusing from the side of the defense, even needing really some of the peaks, some of the plays. It leaves us a little speechless, a little bit confounded, but then you have the other plays, the plays that both teams bring out that they just really impress us with. Unfortunately, picking Clash and Oregon with a Jaeger ban and no Wamayan play isn't exactly the way to go, shall we say, because she's practically a walking target in that situation. There's only so much that the Clash can do to give herself a winning round situation. Sure, absolutely amazing Clash mains would have something to say about that, but not everybody is that kind of a Clash main, ladies and gentlemen. We need to keep that in mind, especially in competitive, where you need to change up your roles as soon as the team so much as requests you to do. The ace from Shady, however, that was a big one to push them post-overtime. Valiant going into round 14, taking a much-needed overtime match point, but they could not hold on to it at all, as they kept getting taken out one by one, and really getting picked off like that with those, already what we've seen from them in mind, their mid-round to mid-round conversions, and their unfortunate history of peaking and making unfortunate plays. They just suffered in a few too many avenues to, to come back and win this game. Exactly, especially when it mattered. Dova gave it his all in the last round. It was a 1v5, effectively speaking, because his teammate went down, but unfortunately, he did not know that there was the last man rotating in through the site rotate. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we do thank you a lot for joining us today for the matches that we had on hand. which were, of course, Dauntless Esports taking on Vanquish Paradox Gaming, as VPG won that on the map of Villa 7-3, a fairly dominating performance. And then we had on Oregon, the match that we just got to see, Exterminate Esports versus Valiance. XTM walk away with an 8-7 victory. There's still some more action to go, of course. That is on the last day of Division 2, which will happen after a couple days worth of break, because the South Asia Majors will be going live tomorrow, and we'll be casting our attention there to cheer on for our favorite teams. We'll see you there in the chat. And once again, Season 3 qualifiers are still live, and they are going to be exciting as well. If you, your friends, or yourself looking for a team wants to get in and into the thick of the action, well, solos and team registrations are all open. The link is down in the description below. Check out the Esports Club over out that link and get yourselves registered for Season 3. With all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for myself, Blackjack, my co-host, Babagusta, and our admin Eisen, as we will be saying good night for tonight. And we will come back after a couple days with more Division 2 action. Stay tuned, and good night.